Jesus Christ. You'd think they would have given us a little bit more fucking forewarning. I was in the goddamn shower. They're, they're like, yeah, we have a verdict. You have 5 minutes. Jesus fuck. No respect. Fuck this jury. No wonder they arrived at a... Well. What's up? Alright, we're 2 minutes out from the shower. From shiny, it's water. Kyle Rittenhouse has been found not guilty on all counts. Which should not be a tremendous surprise if you have been following the court proceedings. Which I have not been. But it's still not a surprise. Because I'm very smart. My God. Alright, here we go. I just jumped out of the shower. After 26 hours of deliberation, the jury appeared to accept Mr. Rittenhouse's explanation that he had acted reasonably to defend himself in an unruly and turbulent scene in August 2020, 2 days after a white Kenosha police officer had shot Jacob Blake, a black resident. Wow, race baiting much? That summer was marked with unrest across the country following the murder of George Floyd by a Minneapolis police officer. Oh, man. We're, hold on. Let me get the stream feed up. 1 second. Yeah. 1 second. All right. The onion's already on it. On what? I'm digging wet hair wash. My hair is usually wet when I'm back here. Kyle Rittenhouse sentenced to 45 years of CPAC appearances. Yeah. Okay, hold on. Let's get oriented. Where the fuck? Here we go. Washington Post. Give me the moment. I want to see the announcement.
Came all the way.
Kudos to the jurors.
I think, without commenting on your verdict, the verdicts themselves. Elected a foreperson?
Whoa.
Would you give your juror number, please?
54.
54. And has the jury reached a verdict as to each count of the information?
Yes, we have, Your Honor.
One verdict and one verdict only?
Yes.
Would you hand all of the paperwork to the bailiff, please?
This is the ones that you didn't know. Okay.
Everything.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks.
Whoa.
May I see that too, please, Mrs.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Chairman? Thank you.
Not guilty.
Wisconsin versus Kyle Rittenhouse. As to the first count of the information, Joseph Rosenbaum. We, the jury, find the defendant Kyle.
Holy shit. No wonder the prosecution was nervous. If I saw this person, if I saw a woman who looked like this in the stands, I'd be like, damn, we're not getting a not guilty out of that one at least. They're gonna have to pry a not guilty out of that person's cold, dead hands.
The first count of the information, Joseph Rosenbaum. We, we, the jury, find the defendant, Kyle H. Rittenhouse, not guilty. As to the second count of the information, Richard McGinnis, we, the jury, find the defendant, Kyle H. Rittenhouse, not guilty. As to the third count of the information, unknown male, we, the jury, find the defendant, Kyle H. Rittenhouse, not guilty. As to the fourth count of the information, Anthony Huber, we, the jury, find the defendant, Kyle
He's
H.
shaking.
Rittenhouse, not guilty. As to the fifth count of the information, Gage Grosskreutz, we, the jury, find the defendant, Kyle H. Rittenhouse, not guilty.
Oh,
Members of the
oh my
jury-
god, oh my god, he's dead. Oh my god. Oh my god, it didn't matter. It didn't matter at all. He just died. Holy shit. Well, what a twist ending. And if we just cut it here, we can just pretend that's the reality we live in. No, of course not. He is he's alive. Okay. So, let's be real for a second, okay? The real reason that you guys care... Okay, listen. I've been doing this for a while. The real reason that you guys care about this verdict isn't because you specifically care about whether or not Rittenhouse himself spends time in jail. No. And it's also not about the implications and precedent this will set for future protests and violent action. No. You're just mad that conservatives are going to act smug on Twitter. Come on, you don't need to lie to me. You don't need to lie to me. Come on. You're just mad that the conservatives will be smug on Twitter for months. And you wanted to be smug. You wanted to be the smug one. But now they're going to be the smug ones. Right? Yeah, I know how we are. Humans, psychologically. That's what you care about. Well, first, I propose to you a solution. First of all, a smugness is in your heart. You can be a smug cunt 100% of the time for no reason. I hate to be the one to inform you of this. It's powerful information. You can just be smug forever if you want to be. So consider that problem solved. At a moral level, do you think there's anything a little bit fucked up about wanting a ruling to be reached in a pivotal case just to satiate your spiteful desire to be smug on social media? The answer is no. That's the only reason we even have a court system. Everything else is cope. No, that's the only reason we do anything. So don't feel bad about it. We do have a not guilty on all counts verdict. I've said this before, but the writing seemed like it was on the wall for this particular one, in large part because the defense of not guilty, the defense of self-defense, invoking self-defense as a justification for killing another person, is while it does take into consideration the possibility of whether or not you put yourself in the situation that you're defending yourself against, and that can be a pivotal factor in the legitimacy of a self-defense claim, it's not perfectly in overlap with what we might consider to be reasonable or moral behavior. Because I think Rittenhouse was wrong to go out to the protest. I think running around vigilante Batmaning with, open carry AR-15s at protests is actually a pretty bad idea. But whether or not something is a good or a bad idea, morally, whether it contributes to the betterment of a society, that's not necessarily 100% in line with whether or not it's self-defense. I strongly discourage you guys from questioning the outcome of this trial. Was the judge sussy-wussy? Was he a little bit of a sussy baka? Yeah, I would say that the judge was a little bit of a sussy baka. But what the fuck are you going to do about it? Are you going to get the ruling overturned? No, that's not going to happen. That will never happen. All you're going to do is look like a bitter, salty, ass-mad child by claiming that the game was rigged after you lost. So just don't even Just do what I do, okay? The judge was a little sussy-wussy. A little sussy-wussy. Yeah, but okay, they reached that verdict. All right, that seems to be... Yeah, just don't freak out, please. He's white and got extraordinary treatment. It's unarguably rigged. Now, that's what I call something that will get you ratioed on Twitter because it'll make you look like an idiot. He's white. If you, after the context of this trial, and you go on, you're like, oh, Rittenhouse is white. Of course he got it. Like, please. Oh, my God. There is a time and a place for the structural analysis of systemic racism in the criminal justice system, and that is not, we lost a court case, so let's call the opposition white. that's yeah. Though I imagine a lot of people are going to be doing that anyway, so be careful with that. Anyway, the real concern here, as I've said before, is that Rittenhouse is going to be a hero to thousands, millions maybe, of Republicans and edgy independents. Thank you very, very much. And that heroism is going to inspire a lot more similar behavior at protests, you know. You're going to have it's going to get it's going to get flagrant. It's going to get frequent, okay? You're going to have 2 or 3 people protesting outside your local laundromat because a father of 3 got shorted on overtime wages and convinced 2 of his employees to join him. And there will be like 16 Republicans with AR-15s just marching in a circle right around, just like sharks swimming around you know a ship with chum pouring off the sides. So we need to be careful about that. There is no doubt, I'm very confident in the fact that this ruling will inspire future violence. But you know, we're all going to have to be a little careful. And I have some suggestions to that point. First of all, if you are protesting and you see somebody who is obviously a conservative open carrying a gun, please do not attack them, you moron. There are people in chat saying the opposite of what I'm saying right now, and that's very concerning. If you look at the facts of the case with Rittenhouse, there is no denying that there was irresponsible behavior on the part of the protesters. I don't even think that was in question, frankly. Irresponsible to a lethal extent. Nah, fuck that. Spooky Electric, if you want to go play Suicide by Cop, then you're free to go throw rocks at a precinct. But as long as you live in reality and you are in the proximity of other protesters, you will not initiate violence against armed people. Do not. I don't care how hard you're LARPing. First of all, you lose because you are a Vosh.gg chatter, and the person you are attacking is a Republican, which means that they go shooting 3 times a week, again, putting up little posters of black people to mow down. Please be careful. They have been training for this. You are a tier 3 sub in my chat. Just keep in mind, there's a significant power level distinction. Just be careful. Look, I have for a long time argued against going to protests armed. And the reason for that is that unless you possess an extraordinary level of discipline and coordination, bringing guns to protests is overwhelmingly likely to increase the level of violence against both sides. It just raises the danger for everyone. There are a number of reasons for this. First of all, if people are creating a protest, do you think normies are more or less likely to go to one where they think there are going to be people with guns? There's an objective answer. Normies do not like going to protests where people are open carrying firearms on your side or on theirs. Seriously. It's just spooky. It is. Guns are spooky. They are killing machines. People don't like going to protests where people are open carrying firearms. Yeah, no, I want to live. Bringing guns to a protest is not likely to increase your chance of living. Seriously, EB the Purple, if you want, you can look at data. There is absolutely no information which is going to point you to the conclusion that bringing weapons and open carrying them at a protest increases your survivability. It's just not the case. It increases the threat level for both sides. It decreases the likelihood that your allies will join you. And it muddies the waters significantly if there ever is a violent dispute. If the other side is armed and you are not, you may feel weak and unable to defend yourself. But in reality, the way guns work is that usually whoever shoots first wins, because they're guns. If you intend on shooting first, you're likely to get yourself another 18-month-long media circus of how Antifa is killing people. And if you get shot first, you having a gun didn't really make much of a difference now, did it? It's just not how it works. Gun possession and brandishing at a protest works with significant levels of discipline and coordination. That's why the Black Panther Party pulled it off. That's why I respect the Black Panther Party. Unless you've got that, you can't do it. And Rittenhouse's militia buddies couldn't do it either because they fucked up. They did have people break off. They did have this whole media circus. They did produce the negative circumstances that I'm referring to here. Even if the court found him not guilty on all counts, the outcome was still one which massively increased the likelihood of violence and death on all sides. Hogs in Michigan do it irresponsibly as fuck. What are you going to do? Cry about it? You little bitch babies? You little fucking pussy? They get away with it. Yeah, no shit. They're fascists, okay? No fucking shit. Republicans get away with 20 times as much shit as we do. No shit, you have to be careful. White supremacists kill dozens of people every year. Antifa killed one person, and we got a media circus about it for months, okay? No shit, it's not fair, okay? Jesus Christ. What are you, a fucking child? Did you think being a leftist would be easy? What are we supposed to do then? Don't open carry at protests. It will not increase the likelihood of you surviving. Don't do it. Stay with the protesters. Discourage acts of violence against other people. If you think this is cucked, then you don't belong at protests. Seriously. If your vision of a protest is, I'm going to bring a gun, I'm going to shoot the Republicans, then stay the fuck at home. Chat in VGG. Donate to VGG. Subscribe to VGG. That's what you were born for. Make Twitter posts. Maybe don't. Do not go to protests. You will not help. You will unhelp. You will damage things. You will damage people. Please do not. Please. Make Twitter posts about VGG. Tweet about Vosh. And all the good he's doing. Is this your way of advocating quietly for concealed carry? No, it's not quiet. Concealed carry. Yeah. That I'm not being quiet about it. Yeah. Sure. The real question is, what do I do with all this angry rage I feel right now? Go punch a pillow, jerk off, I don't know. Who cares? You people get so much more emotionally invested in this than I do. Even after Bernie lost, 10 seconds later, I'm on the Biden train. Look, Rittenhouse's acquittal on all charges was something which seemed likely to me. You all should have been preparing for this contingency for months. Stuff like this happens, okay? It's one kid. It's just a kid. It's a stupid fucking... Is he racist? Probably. There are lots of racists. What is he, special? I don't know. Who hasn't killed people? Come on. The concern here is navigating an increasingly dangerous protesting environment, okay? That is the concern here. Are you actually downplaying this? Yeah. Yeah, I am. If there are people in chat who are going to be like, we need to kill Republicans. We need to go to the protest with guns. We need to... Yeah, then I will. Yeah, then you need to take a chill pill. You need to dip your head in cold water, okay? You need to chill out the brain pan a little bit. We bring guns to protest so I can shoot every white person I see. Please calm, okay? Was anyone saying that? Yes, I saw it. It's about the precedent set to other right-wingers. I know. I said it. Don't gaslight us, Vosh. I don't think I am. You need to be calm, okay? Especially in situations like this. The Republicans will kill us. Maybe the solution, Vosh, is to leave the country forever. Maybe I should reframe how I'm talking about this. Hold on, let me think. Is the obviously compromised judge excusing the murder of protesters not a problem? the judge didn't arrive at the verdict. You know that, right? You know we have a jury, right? Oh, yeah. Okay, listen. Okay. I just want to eat my fucking bagel, guys. Um, the jury was manipulated, though, right? Everybody's being manipulated all the time by everything. If you guys, okay, if you guys seriously want to take this hill, how about the fact that there was an unimaginable amount of media condemnation of Rittenhouse for months before the jury was even picked? Like, if you want to take this road, you realize you're doing the same shit the conservatives would have. Oh, they were rigged. Oh, the jury was just in fear for their lives because they would have been fucking Black Lives Matter protested. They would have been shot if they had fucking It's you can do this anytime for any group of people. If you want to be a bitch baby and cry, you can always do it. There is nothing you can do to overturn this verdict. There are zero things. You are utterly powerless. You have no ability to overturn the verdict. Complaining does nothing but make you look like a salty bitch, okay? And the verdict here honestly isn't what matters, because even if you did get that verdict overturned, all you would do at this point is enforce a martyrdom complex in the conservatives. But conservatives literally kill us? Yeah, macaroni, and heart disease kills them, okay? Chill. Conservatives have been killing people for ages, and it's not like lefties haven't either, all right? The number of murders by white supremacists. Do you know how many people die to protester violence every single year? If you showed it on a total chart of deaths in the US, it wouldn't even show up. Like, it wouldn't even be, it would be an other. You would have to split it into like a 1 pixel wide sliver of a gigantic graph that's like 4,000 by 4,000 pixels. Just, do they kill? Sure, okay, 100 times, 1,000 times many people die in car accidents. I'm not saying it's not a problem. It obviously is a problem, especially since violence done at protests has a magnifying effect politically relative to car crashes, you know. But that does not mean it's acceptable to lose your shit over it and start hardcore doomering. I hate hardcore doomering. I'm so disgusted with it every time I see it. I try to prepare you guys against this. I made a video a couple of days ago. Yeah, we're probably going to get a not guilty verdict, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't change anything. Every time something unfortunate, it's unfortunate, sure. Every time something like this happens, you know, it's okay to be sad, but the doomering, it just isn't acceptable. If you want to do better, then here's what you need to do, okay? Here's what you need to do. If you want to do better, okay? This is what you need to do, okay? First of all, I'm not saying people can't be upset, Katzer. Doomering is different, though. Different things, okay? There's a difference between being upset and pessimism leading you to really bad political takes. Here's what you need to do, okay? First of all, encourage responsible protesting behavior on your side of the aisle. Don't open carry. Don't charge people who are open carrying. Stay together in groups. Do not engage in stochastic acts of violence. Don't do the fucking looting, rioting, arson shit. Was it overstated in the BLM protests? Yes. Did it happen anyway? Yes, it certainly did. Prevent it. When you're with groups of protesters, work with them to dissuade the bad actors from their participation. Pull them back if you need to. If you're in a group of protesters and there's some single dumb fuck throwing rocks at a police line, grab them. I'm serious. Get other people with you and grab them. Because what's more likely to hurt you, okay? That person flailing and elbowing you in the face, or the police line taking the initiative to charge into your group? Okay? Seriously, it is in your best interest to prevent protesters from engaging in behavior that increases the risk of violence against everyone. If you see conservatives who are open carrying running around, you know what you should do? Honest to God, ignore them. I'm being serious, okay? Please ignore them. I know how fired up you guys get, okay? Screaming insults at them, they're going to scream insults back at you, and because all of you have fucking fog brain during protests, you know, the insults lead to violence because everyone's so angry. Just try to avoid that behavior, okay? If you're in a line with people, if you have like a group, you're fairly safe, and you can call them all cucks if you want. But especially if you're broken off, if you've got like What if they're pointing guns at people? Or what are you going to do if they're pointing guns at people? Huh? Take videos. Take videos. Photograph them. What are you going to try to do? Quick draw? Call the police. Hey, there's people brandishing firearms. That is a felony. There are people brandishing fire. Here's evidence. Take videos. Dox those fuckers. Seriously. Hey, smile. Zoom in their face. Okay? They're fucked. You get a video of that shit, their face, of them brandishing with no provocation on social media, their life is over. Even if they never get convicted, they're not getting a fucking job. They're going to get doxxed on Twitter. There are going to be 100K like tweets going, hey, fucking Jim Jorgensen down here in Cuckland, Ohio, was pointing guns at people. Yeah, fuck it. Absolutely, I'm okay with fucking mob violence and that shit. Fucking doxing people on Twitter. Absolutely, you brandishing at a fucking protest? Fuck you. Yeah, eat shit. What do you think you're going to do? Charge them? You think you're going to charge a guy with a gun? Do you know how twitchy these people are? These people snort coke before they go to the protests. They wake up every day. Every day, these people, okay? These Proud Boys, whatever. They have a gun under their pillow, and every night they tape a picture of George Floyd to their ceiling, looking down at them. And every morning when they wake up, their eyes snap open. They fucking draw from under the pillow and they fire at it. Okay? That's every day. There's a hole the size you could fit a person through the hole in their roof now, okay? Because they do this every day. You think you're going to beat that with a charge? Yeah, you think you're going to go like, "Oh, dude, that guy who's open carrying and brandishing and like shouting slurs at people is only like 80 feet away. I can totally clear that distance the time it takes for a bullet to make it to my skull." No, you cannot. Be calm, okay? And stay in groups. Staying in groups is a spectacular defense against violence, even against threats, you know. The more people you have together, the more likely it is there are cameras active as well. When there's violence, that's kind of like just a few people scattered off. It gets a little more murky, like you don't always have as good video footage and who started what. But if there's a crowd of like 100 people together and somebody's brandishing near that person's fucked. There's absolutely at least 1 or 2 people with cameras active in that crowd. And what are they going to do? Mow down the crowd? I know that is possible, but that doesn't really happen. Not yet. We're not at that point yet, okay? That's level 3. We're at level 2 right now. When we're at level 3, I'll make another video, okay? We'll talk about strategies at level 3. But we're at level 2 right now, okay? What if they aren't looking at you and they're an active shooter? Do you take the shot? If you're concealed carrying a firearm and they're an active shooter to the sense that you understand they're posing a legitimate threat to the people at the protest, and this is an incredibly marginal situation, then my advice is I am not a legal expert. Fuck you. I don't know. Read up on state law. I'm not getting in trouble. I'm not responsible. I'm not. You motherfuckers aren't going to go to a protest, fucking shoot someone, get shot, have your house raided, and see your little shrine to Vosh discovered. And I do not want fucking Fox News at my door. You know, why did you inspire? Fuck you. My fucking clip. Yeah, fuck you. Jesus Christ. All right. Let's finish this shit show. Hey, do we have an editor here? Tempest? Tempest. We should probably put this segment up quickly. Yeah, hold on. Let me cut off the VOD there. And ping. Tempest. Who DMs me on Discord? What cuck behavior? Imagine unironically contacting me. Oh, wait, is Ryan up? Wait, I thought Ryan was away. Wait, hold on, Ryan. I see you're online. Ryan! We gotta put the Rittenhouse up. Lincoln. The video. No editing necessary. I'm just that funny. Nice. Alright, let's upload. YouTube, raw stream VODs. Fuck, this hard drive is almost full. That's a 16 terabyte hard... When I first got this computer, it has a 16 terabyte hard drive that I store all my stream VODs in, every single one. And we're almost full. That's crazy. It's like my entire career is like almost filled up a 16 terabyte hard drive. I'll just get another one and just replace it. Oh, Ryan says hi to chat. Okay, now put this in YouTube. There we go. Put this in YouTube. There we go. Nice. Okay, let's finish this while I eat my bagel. It's probably already cold. Fuck.
Are these your unanimous verdicts? Is there anyone who does not agree with the verdicts as read? Would you wish the jury polled? No. Okay. Okay, folks, your job is done, and we started just about 3 weeks ago, and I told you it could last 2 weeks and 2 days. This is 2 weeks. This is 3 weeks. You were a wonderful jury to work with. You were punctual. You were attentive. And
he's quivering.
Forgotten six over here who had a very difficult job of keeping from discussing the case during the time that they were sequestered as well. All of you, you just, I couldn't have asked for.
Guys, I don't know if they're fake tears. I mean, it is possible that he could be a piece of shit, but also be happy that he's not going to go to jail for a long time. I mean, that is possible. He could just be a large baby, you know? Like, why would he fake the tears right now? He could have real tears. Like, there's a good real reason, you know? So wait, is murder legal now? I'm not a lawyer, but yes, I think so.
For a better jury to work with, and it has truly been my pleasure. I think, without commenting on your verdict, the verdicts themselves, just in terms of your the attentiveness and the cooperation that you gave to us, this justifies the confidence that the founders of our country placed in you. So I dismiss you at this time. You're never under any obligation to discuss any aspect of this case with anyone. You're welcome to do so as little or as much as you want. The media have requested, a number of media sources have requested the ability to talk to you, and they have been allowed to present presentations to you that you'll get in writing, and it's entirely up to you whether you want to contact them. They are not to contact you. If anyone does contact you, and just tell them you're not interested in discussing it, if that's the case. And if anyone persists in doing so, report that to us and it will be addressed.
Now, violence against Kyle Rittenhouse in a retributive sense is obviously not legal. However, you can fuck his parents. There's nothing stopping you from doing that. It's not illegal. Yeah, with their consent, of course. I feel like the consent should be implied because it's not even an own unless they consent. Like obviously them consenting is like it's not even the cherry on top, it's like the entire cake. Like what if you come home and it's like your parents are being like sexually assaulted. You said, yeah, I said fuck, not rape. Jesus. If you come home, your parents being sexually assaulted, that's horrible. That's a tragedy. The police should be involved. That's bad. But if you come home and your mom is on the couch getting railed by a VGG chatter, and your mom looks at you and says like, "Oh, hi, honey. I have lunch for you waiting. I'm gonna be a bit," or something like that. Clearly, that's the point of the exercise. The consent is the cornerstone of the strategy.
I assure you. At the beginning of the trial, there was some concern about information and your safety, and I assure you that we will take every measure to ensure that is your concerns are addressed and respected. I'm going to talk to you for just a minute, not about anything to do with the case, but just about that sole issue. And you, as I say, you're welcome to discuss the case as little or as much as you want. Any questions, anybody? Thank you so much. And you're after 4 years, you're eligible for service again. It would be my pleasure to work with you. Thank you.
I'm not trying to be weird, but does anyone else feel like Kyle fills out his suit weirdly? The way his frame fills the suit makes it look like he's like muscular, but it looks more like somebody craft molded like a gel bodysuit underneath the suit to fill. You know what I mean? I don't know. It might just be it's not like perfectly well fitting. I guess I wasn't wearing well fitting suits at 18.
It would be my pleasure to work with you. Thank you. Yeah, please.
He's taxidermied under there.
Or in the they can attend in the library. It's not going to be more than a minute, or maybe it will be.
Well,
Yeah, take them upstairs. That's fine. That's fine.
The judge is still a little shaky after the creamy orgasm he had in his pants. What's Pac-Man saying about it? Pac-Man, what's up? Pac-Man is... Oh, this is the beginning of the stream. It already ended. I want to see what his response was.
Really.
Thing about that.
Does Pac-Man even stream? Jesus Christ. He just turns the stream on and then walks away. Oh, wait, banned on Twitch. That's right. Fuck, I forgot he's banned on Twitch. Shh. CBS News.
Means there is no accountability for the person who murdered our son. Those are their words. It sends the unacceptable message that armed civilians can show up in any town,
finishing this fucking
incite violence, and then use the danger they have created to justify shooting people in the street. So just a small section of a statement from the family. Karen Bloom and John Huber, the family of Anthony Huber, who have been obviously following this trial and heard this verdict, their quick response is coming down just right at the top of the hour at 1 o'clock.
And of course, an expected comment from them, but it really was interesting because that was clearly the narrative going into the trial as 17-year-old comes with AR-15 style weapon to Kenosha, Wisconsin to wreak havoc, kills 2, injures 1 more. But the evidence really didn't show that. It certainly wasn't crystal clear. It certainly was very gray, and it showed those who died and those who were injured antagonizing Mr. Rittenhouse. Irv, you say what to that?
I say we have to respect the system, and the system is that the prosecution has to prove a defendant guilty beyond a reasonable doubt, and to do that, the prosecutor has to submit competent, fair evidence. There has to be a fair trial, and if there's a fair trial, the victims of the crime should appreciate that. I mean, I sympathize with victims of crimes, no question about it. But when you look at this particular case, there's part of the people are going to say, well, the people that got shot were victims. There's other people are going to say, listen, Kyle Rittenhouse was the victim of this. He was the one that was being attacked. And this jury chose to evaluate the evidence, and they decided that the prosecution did not meet their burden. It's a burden that prosecutors across this country have to accept every day of the week.
Well, Irv, in following this, we saw that the defense called twice for a mistrial, and leading into today, I know we had discussed previously whether the jury was going to reach a verdict at all, and secondly, whether the judge was going to actually rule on those issues. As it turns out, the jury did, of course, reach a verdict, and that issue of mistrial then became moot, right? More Irv?
Absolutely. The judge isn't going to even touch it. I mean, there's no reason for him to. This is not finding him not guilty.
Why the fuck are we not getting shown the pundits? Is it because they're crying and shaking and coming right now? What the fuck? Yeah, I know people are going to be super disappointed over this, but what you guys need to understand is that you should like the stream. 919 likes? You fucking kidding me? Jesus Christ, that's the greatest injustice that took place today. The fuck? But that's an injustice you have the ability to rectify, my friend. Can't overturn court rulings, but you can hit the thumbs up button. Absolutely. There we go. There we go. Past 1200 now. 1300. I'm submitting to the mob right now. The mob of people hitting the thumbs up button. Absolutely smack that shit. Get it to 2K. I believe. 1400. I believe in you. Maybe I should have a slightly more structured segment. Maybe we should do that. Maybe we should. Protesting as a leftist is protesting on hard mode, because as the FBI crime statistics have shown us, if you're a white supremacist, you can do all sorts of wacky stuff, and it won't get you a media circus. Or the media circus just kind of blends together into the general screeching of people who care about white supremacist violence. But God forbid, I mean, Antifa was accused of being like the most violent militia in the United States, despite nobody from Antifa having killed anyone at a protest up until like a year ago. Like decades and decades and decades and decades. I mean, and no deaths attributed to Antifa violence at protests, and then you get like one, and all of a sudden it's like, we were right. But like in the same year, far more white supremacists killed people. It's wild. I need you all to understand that fairness is not the thing we're looking for here. Fairness is largely irrelevant to our to our understanding of protesting as a leftist, because if you obsess over fairness, what are you going to do? You're going to end up killing yourself. Like, honest to God, you sit at your computer, look at the news feeds, like, it's not fair, and then you die. You just die. You don't even kill yourself, honestly. The synapses in your brain misfire. Your brain overheats. Steam comes out of your ears, and you just collapse right there. Unfortunately, that type of death does leave you with an erection, and it just looks super bad when people come in afterwards. They make assumptions, and just it's not good. It's not good. What we need is a good understanding of protesting, and thankfully I have one. Is it because I've been to many protests? No, I've actually been to a moderate number of protests, but not so much in the past couple of years. More so back when I was in community college. But that's not the reason why. The reason why is because I'm not a dumb fuck. And as you all know, as fans of my community, people on the online left are all dumb fucks. And that really hampers their ability to advocate for, good policy, I guess, when it comes to protesting. Everything that I'm about to say is objectively correct. You can disagree if you want, but it makes you stupid. Like after the fact. I mean, it actually lowers your IQ. You talk like you've never been to a protest. It's been a while, I won't lie. But what you have to understand is that protesting theory and protesting praxis aren't in two other rooms. They're in two other zip codes, okay? Look at people online talking about protest, Okay, so you need the shield wall here, and you need the people here coordinating and bringing the water. Then go to an actual protest. It's like a clown fiesta, okay? You're entering Clown Town. They might as well have a goddamn circus tent that you have to walk through before you can enter. No, it's a chaotic mess, and yeah. This is one of the reasons why I idealize the Black Panther Party so much. It's because it's one of the most successful instances of highly coordinated public protests that we have from the left in American history. It's spectacular stuff. Were they perfect? No, but they were pretty cool. So with regards to good protesting, there are some general practices that I would like to encourage from you guys. First of all, and I know this doesn't fit in with your dream of like being the vanguard who leads the charge over the police shield wall, but please do not open carry firearms. If you want to concealed carry because you're a paranoid person and you want to have like a fucking little gun in a vest, I was pretty sure. What? No, back in Santa Monica when I was when I had the Antifa buddies. Though the protests back then, how many? Like 6 or 7? I don't know why you're trying to call me out. You didn't even know me back then. I don't know if 6 or 7 would even be considered a moderate amount. There wasn't as much to protest over back then. That was back between 2010 and 2013. What were people protesting about back then? Yeah, I did. I mentioned it on stream like 6 times. I guess there was Occupy Wall Street. Yeah, but Occupy Wall Street isn't like... How much of it is like a protest and how much of it was like... I don't even know how much Occupy Wall Street shit there was. I don't know if I just didn't pay that much attention to it. I was really disgusted with Occupy Wall Street at the time. Occupy was a 2008. It was a little bit before. I don't know if there were like remnants. I was like, what the fuck, why? My concerns with Occupy Wall Street are not relevant to this particular bit. It was the part messier about modern day efforts. What? Vermin, chill. Anyway, the point that I'm laboriously trying to get at is that nobody does protesting better than me. Nobody ever in all of history, including the Black Panther Party, which is why they're gone. If only I had led them. A tragedy. Let's talk about good practice at protests. Not getting distracted by chat anymore. You talk so privileged about protests, holy shit. Yeah, I do it to trigger people like you, OneNote. Jesus Christ. Dude, Vermin, holy shit, chill, okay? Jesus fuck. You're acting like a chatter right now. I thought you were better than that. Thought I trusted you. Yeah. No, here's some things to keep in mind, okay? First of all, you do not want to open carry at protests. I know all of you want to be like a Kalashnikov AK-47 wearing, fucking the hat. I always forget the name of the hat. You want to charge, you single-handedly destroy the state. Shut up. No. The issue is, Yushanka, thank you. Protesting, first and foremost, is all about numbers. It's a numbers game. That is the main thing. The only exception to this is, again, highly coordinated activities that are being exercised by a single, independent, and well-trained group, a la the Black Panther Party. That is really not relevant to the vast majority of protests, especially popular protests like Black Lives Matter. Even if you had the Black Panther Party... I guess we have the new Black Panther Party, but fuck them. Even if we had the old Black Panther Party around and at full strength today, do you know how their numbers would look compared to the BLM numbers? Like nothing, you know? Like, if the Black Panther Party showed up at one of the BLM protests going back on in 2020, like, it would be like half a percent of the people at one of these protests. With the numbers we're dealing with today, we're mostly dealing with fairly uncoordinated popular protests, not something that being coordinated by an actual organization where people have membership and strict training regimen. So in light of that, numbers are the big game. Numbers are what you care about. Numbers are what matter most. The more people are out there, the more likely you are to have popular attention from media. Now, is that guaranteed to be the case? No, the media loves to ignore really big protests, like the anti-war back when we were invading Iraq. You know, it's not like they're not capable of ignoring big protests, but it does help. The larger your numbers are, the more likely you are to get attention, and the less violent your protest appears to be, the more likely you are to get large numbers. And there is safety in large numbers. This is why Rittenhouse was attacked. This is why the death. Who was that? Who was the one Antifa guy who killed? When people get hurt at protests by other protesters, usually people break apart, they split, they go down side streets, they get hurt, people attack each other in the cover of darkness, stuff like that. That's usually when the violence between the sides really amps up, at least proportionally. But you stay with your group, you stay in the light, and you march together. I think, and I think the data shows, this is the safest way to move and to travel. It looks the best for the cameras. You have the largest number of people. You are the safest. Now, if the police close in on you, do you have problems? Yes, but we'll get to that in a second, okay? Open carrying at protests is just not good. Will they open carry? The conservatives. Yes, they will. Life is not fair. The reason for that is a difference in priorities. Now, you may have noticed, at the BLM protests, were there an equal number of BLM protesters and anti-BLM protesters? Was it like a 50-50 split? Just like a wall between the two of them and just like 1,000 people in this side? No, not even close. Thousands of BLM protesters and like dozens of anti-BLM protesters. some of whom open carried in their right-wing militia ways, but these are not equivalent exercises of political power because the priorities are different. The right is not trying to attract a bunch of normies. The right isn't trying to get 1,000 people out there like we are. They don't care about that. Their goal isn't to have a huge popular movement. Their goal is to inflict terror and violence. But the violence, even from them, is something that they have to inflict, usually with what they perceive to be just cause. Otherwise, you would see like every single protest in the United States would just have like a Proud Boy show up and just shoot into a crowd, which it doesn't happen. Don't delude yourself into thinking that happens, okay? Is there violence from the right? Yes. Does that mean that they're fucking ISIS, Al-Qaeda, Allahu Akbaring every single group of black people? No, that's not happening. I disagree, Vosh. I don't care. That's not happening. And by the way, when you overstate that risk, you're only doing harm to our movement. Seriously. When you act as though every single like right-wing protester who open carries is like literally just firing into crowds every time, that you're delusional, and they want to, though, it doesn't matter. They're not doing it right now. That's not a thing. That might happen in the future. Right now, if they were doing that, you would know. And by the way, if they actually did do that, you do realize that you would have heard, there would be a media circus the likes of which you have never heard before in your life. Holy shit. It is not happening at the moment. Guys, there is a legitimate risk of fascist violence in this country, but that doesn't mean you can delude yourself into acting as though that threat to violence is being enacted at the highest possible level right now. Okay, we're at DEFCON 2. Okay, you need to chill. They aren't open firing into crowds, but they have driven some cars through a few cars. I know, Enderby, there are people in. I could ban all of you. Thank you for pointing out that yes, some people do die. However, if all of them were just open firing into every crowd they could find, far more people would be dead. You understand this, right? Fine. If you want to, you can Google and look. How many times have right-wing counter-protesters open-fired weapons into crowds indiscriminately? Go look. Go find something to get angry at, but leave the chat, okay? I'm getting very frustrated with you right now. Yes, there is violence, okay? There is violence against us. Chill. Given the fact that that behavior does not happen, at least not ubiquitously, that is an indication that even the right is at least somewhat concerned with optics. You also have to understand that while the right is motivated by a lot of political biases, individual right-wing militia people are not like, they don't think they're evil, okay? They do not wake up in the morning and think, I'm going to kill people who did nothing. They go there looking for a fight. That's what Rittenhouse did. They go to these protests looking, what's the term? Wishing a motherfucker would. That is the term. Yeah, they're the heroes of their own stories. They're looking for narratives in which they are the victor. Now, even the right-wing militiamen, as deluded and crazy as they are, their hero narrative does not usually involve them marching up on a crowd of people who are carrying no weapons and doing nothing to them and just shooting into them. Usually, it involves shouted insults back and forth, people being broken off from the crowd, wandering into side streets, waiting for somebody to dare attack you, and then firing into them. That's usually how it goes. People get into scuffles, people draw their guns, sometimes one person's faster than the others. Messy, stochastic, individual. Rarely a fucking... If they, they're not, they could just be throwing bombs into BLM crowds, you know that, right? Like homemade bombs, they could be fucking Walter Whiting that shit if they wanted to. But that isn't the way the violence is currently manifesting, and we have to respond to the material conditions that we live in. With that being said, already did Vosh? It's genuinely like no, I will ban. No, literally fuck you. You are a threat to the left and left organizing as long as you persist in this attitude. You simply can't. You cannot be a good advocate for left protesting if you're if you're limiting yourself with these thoughts, okay? Calm yourself. Why can't you just click ban? I'm on the wrong version of the chat, and I've been too lazy to fix it for 9 months. Anyway, please, if you have something stupid to say, just don't type, okay? Sit on your hands, or if there's a hammer or something else similarly heavy with leverage nearby, place your hands on the desk and smash them into paste with the other hand. Dissolve your bones so you can't type. Thank you. Just don't open carry around protests. It makes everyone nervous. It gives the right an excuse. It muddles the legal proceedings in following court cases, and it makes your allies nervous. This is the reason why back during the BLM protest, there was that guy, I think it was in Seattle, who reached into a car's broken window and pulled out a rifle. You remember? Does anyone have that video, by the way? Does anyone have that video? There's a person who reached in and pulled out a rifle from one of the cars. It was just a rifle they pulled out. And there was a bodyguard for a journalist nearby who, like, tackled the guy and took the gun away from him. And that was extremely based. That was very, very based. The last thing that popular protests need is people just randomly finding guns and marching around with them. Dude, this case just proved we're allowed to open carry. That's okay. We can ban lots of people today. So like I said earlier, the right and the left have different goals. The left relies on popular organization for protesting, getting lots and lots of normies out there. The right just needs to send a dozen militia members. They have a fundamentally different set of priorities, meaning that the right doesn't have to appeal to the public interest in the same way. Let me see. Video? Here we go. God, this video is so based. 17 seconds. What an excellent...
It could spread to some other nearby
Just got
vehicles.
A gun. What's up?
Also a concern about that
Fuck you.
Building that is nearby.
Goodbye.
And it appears as if there's some folks that are trying to... All right, it looks like there's
Fuck
some
you.
type of weapon there. We're going to break away from that.
Yoink! Let's take a look at that one more time,
Also
okay?
a concern about...
So here we have
It could spread...
a VGG chatter. You are 19 years old. You're 120 pounds soaking wet. You are probably not cis, but there's nothing wrong with that. You're wearing what you understand to be the Antifa clothing. You haven't changed your underwear in several days. You reached into the broken window of a car and have pulled out something that looks to you like a gun. You've never held a gun before. It's very scary and very cool. You feel very powerful holding the gun. You are definitely not unnerving all of the peaceful protesters in the area.
To some other nearby
Then,
vehicles. Also...
The Chad bodyguard with one gun pointed at you reaches forward and yoinks.
A concern about
Yoink?
that building that is nearby.
The yoink is successful. The yoink transfer has taken place. The yoink has been undergone.
And it appears as if there's some folks
Now
that are
we
trying
yell
to...
at the VGGer. Goodbye.
All right, it looks like there's
To
some
jail.
type of weapon there. We're going to break away
Goodbye.
from that shot there. Not sure who that person is, but obviously
Goodbye.
a very scary and fluid.
And then, see? They disarm. Look.
We're going to break away from that shot there. Not sure who that person is, but obviously a very scary
Eject the
and fluid
magazine. See? Sigma energy. Very good stuff. Easy summary, don't introduce more catalysts for escalation by being aggressive or unorganized open carrying. Exactly. Organized open carrying in an organization that is trained and coordinated is acceptable. However, if you're trying to be part of a popular protest, this stuff becomes unacceptable. Please look at the BLM protests. Look at the protesters and the counter-protesters. The counter-protesters aren't thousands of civilians. It's usually a couple of dedicated hardliners, about half of which are carrying guns, okay? There's a different set of priorities. Just don't do it. Don't. It doesn't work. It discourages people from joining your movement, and it doesn't make your movement safer. It does the opposite, okay? It does the opposite. It's not good. It's not good, okay? And yeah, it gives the police an excuse to march in too. Trust me, if the police march in on your crowd, it makes your crowd look a hell of a lot worse if you are all holding guns when they do so. That just, the media is just, protests are at the end of the day about using a large number of people and their coordination to get a larger number of people to agree with your political goals. That's the main thing that protesting is about. And you hurt those goals significantly when you engage in behavior like this. You have to stop. The Rittenhouse shit was messy for a number of reasons, but like, I don't usually talk about this stuff because I don't mean to focus on it because I don't really think it's super relevant. But in case you forgot, what was happening in Kenosha was bad. Like, you can go look at the videos around the time Rittenhouse was walking around. Those weren't like, that wasn't like a big unified crowd of protesters. People were just like looting and breaking shit all around the place. That's the opposite of a desirable protest situation. When people are violent, their tempers are up. When people are just wandering around without group protection, this maximizes the likelihood of violence and death. And violence and death is exactly what happened. It is just a really bad set of conditions to open up into. So be careful, okay? Now, I know there are people in chat who are thinking like, well, when do we get to be the ones? You do not. That you're thinking about this in the wrong way. You're still thinking about fairness. You're still thinking about fairness. Aren't there? Haven't the people in chat been bitterly, well, they carry guns. You're still thinking about fairness. Fairness is not the operative condition here. That is not what we are looking to achieve here. Can you elaborate on how the left and the right's protest goals differ? At them BLM protests, the left came out in thousands, tens of thousands. The right showed up with very small counter-protest crowds, which had a disproportionate number of militia members that were looking mostly to terrorize or intimidate people on the left. But that's not a popular movement, which means that open carrying doesn't deter normies from attending their protests. They also have a different media environment to play into. They're not trying to play to the same crowd as us. Right-wingers don't care about systemic injustice. They do care about hoodlums and thugs looting inner-city areas, being thwarted by angelic open carry, ragamuffins, yeah. Angelic open carry vigilantes. That's what they care about. To the right, Rittenhouse is good optics. You understand that, right? To the right, Rittenhouse is good optics. There were a bunch of thugs trashing Kenosha. In comes Rittenhouse, the avenging hero. He comes in as a medic. He's clearing up the place. People attack him, and he shoots the people attacking him. That's a simplified narrative, and it leaves out a lot of shit, and I disagree with it, but that is their narrative, and nothing that I just said is technically incorrect. Which means that Rittenhouse's behavior is something which appeals to and enhances the conservative media narrative. But if the left did that, it would just not be the case. It would not be the case. I don't even know if there could really be a left equivalent to it, because there aren't usually like right-wing like rioters tearing up a place in the way that happened with like the left, because usually riots are a product of systemic injustice. There's usually a heavy racial element to it, and I don't know, like what, like the white suburbs, people are gonna, you know, Charlottesville, that wasn't really a riot. That was yeah, January 6th, I guess, but even that's not really comparable. January 6th wasn't really a riot so much as it was an insurrectionary attempt, and Charlottesville was really more of a violent protest. They weren't really spilling out into the broader city, destroying everything. The conditions are different, you know? January 6th, they had to be brought there by Trump. Charlottesville, they had to be brought there by Nazis. But the right doesn't like, as an emergent property of injustice, just tear up a community, you know? Because the injustices they care about are like, trans people exist. Like I don't know what black people exist. What do you, they aren't motivated by the same conditions, you know. But who knows, guys? Maybe one day you're going to get the opposite. Okay, maybe like Wuthering Heights. Is that even a place? That's just what came to my mind. Maybe some ultra white suburb just outside of New York. Okay, some like ultra like 97% white. I mean, the kind of place where like 60% of children go to an Ivy League school. Maybe one day like Biden will raise taxes. Or or like union laws will be passed, and all of these like 57-year-old business owners and lawyers, yeah, Winchester County or something, are gonna take to the streets and start smashing stuff. Okay, fuck it, why not? You know, maybe yeah, maybe Heathcliff, yeah, Worcester, yeah, the fucking people marching out of their gigantic foyers, you know, walking through the pillars that bridge the entrance to their house with you know, they have like their tactical sweater vests on and they're running around. And then maybe, okay, maybe we'll get the opposite, okay? When Los Angeles is being torn apart by angry whites, when the people of Bel Air spill out into the streets to protest a 2% increase in corporate tax rates, one hero can save the day. Fuck me. I almost said George Floyd too. No, I don't know. Just some reverse thing. Play out the scenario in your head. My jokes are too edgy. I'm not kidding. Yeah. Antifa Floyd. Yeah. Ryle Kittenhouse. The Antifa. He'll go into Bel Air in the Antifa gear. You know, he'll have the fucking the whole gear on, you know? What the fuck was that, Bosch? I inhaled the coffee. He'll go in there. He'll be walking around. He'll have like his medic kit. He'll be like cleaning up graffiti on these like $4.6 million. He'll see Hassan, you know? He'll he'll be walking through West Hollywood, you know, the white rich people are freaking out. He'll look at Hassan's house, and Hassan will be in like the 3rd floor looking down through the window and then like close the curtains, you know, like he'll continue. Ryle Kittenhouse will continue on his journey. Oh god. But eventually disaster will strike. Okay? From around the corner, it's, oh my god, it's a thug. It's a 65-year-old real estate guy, and he's carrying, oh my god, is that an 18th century replica carbine rifle with gold inlay and a rosewood stock? A musket. He fires. The bullet travels 90 degrees away from the direction the barrel is pointed. Then Ryle Kittenhouse turns around and kills 17 people, and then gets acquitted. There we go. We have the turnaround. Shut up. Stop. This is a bad bit. Shut up. Stop. This is a bad bit. I'm just gonna get in trouble. It's bad. It's not good. One note, no. Another tier 3 down. We're losing tier 3 subs. They're dropping like flies. Oh god. We lost more people today than we lost in Kenosha. Oh no. As someone who's fired muskets many times, it's a common misnomer that they're inaccurate. They've got to be less accurate than rifled barrels, right? I mean, didn't muskets just have smooth bore barrels? Somewhere? I don't know. I'm curious, but I'll research later. Yeah, tier 4 is safe. Most muskets were smoothbore, but some were rifled. I didn't know there were any. I'm sorry. Rifled musket. What is that even? Made in the mid-19th century. Okay, I'm really sorry. Okay, when I think of this, I don't think it's a musket. I just think it's a rifle. This counts as a musket? When I think of a musket, I think of like those cartoon blunderbusses that have like the trumpet horn at the end, you know? Like the... You know what I mean? Like the ones... Yeah, the ones that have the gigantic, like, flared... That's what I think of. I just think of rifle when I see this. What makes it a musket, then? Like, what makes this a musket as opposed to a... I don't know. Do you? This is what I think of? No, I think of, I guess I've just used the wrong... Okay, here we go. Thank you. Yes, this is what I envisioned being fired. Okay? There we go. This. It's a blunderbuss. Yeah, it's also from Mario. A Mario game. Because I pulled it from the Mario wiki. No, I thought I was thinking of like a flintlock. Okay, yeah, okay. Okay. Well then what's a carbine? Okay, so a carbine was the ones they used on horseback, right? The carbine guns were shorter? They were like rifles, but they had a shorter barrel so that they wouldn't bounce around as much while riding on horseback, I think. Nowadays, aren't like all rifles carbines? Like, because our barrel grooving is more efficient or whatever? No, not all rifles, but like, is the AR-15 a carbine? Because they're all smaller than old rifles. Old rifles are like big. Like I've seen them in museums. Like old rifles are like fucking big, you know? The big ones, I mean, but like AR-15s are well, they're not that big. I don't know. I don't know. The M16 is a rifle, the M4 is a carbine. Okay, I just want to see them next to each other, and then I'll move on. M16 versus M4. You said the M4 is a carbine? That's the difference? Huh. More of a subtle difference than I would have guessed. So the M16 is 20 inches long. That's like nothing compared to the old rifles, but the M4 is 14.5? Okay. Yeah, the barrel length. That's not an M4? That's a bad chart? Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, how about we look into this a little bit later? Is that okay? Can we look into this a little bit later? I don't actually know if I've ever fired a rifle. I think every time I've fired a rifle, it was a carbine, I think. Every time I've fired something that I would look at and think, this is a rifle or a long gun, I think it's been a carbine. Are carbines comfier? They look comfy. Okay. Maybe the day of Rittenhouse's acquittal is not the day to be talking about my favorite rifles. What is the news saying? Maybe, just maybe, possibly. People are saying this. Thank you. Did I see the news? Chinese tennis stuff. I've heard some stuff about that. Hold on. NBC, talk to me. NBC, he.
Really boils down to what you're seeing here is people fighting for justice, fighting to be heard, asking for change in the only way that we know how, and that's through effective protest. Now, what Kyle Rittenhouse trial has shown us is even if you engage in protesting, a person can come in and be an active shooter and can get away with murdering, otherwise innocent individuals.
Oh, man. Okay. Oh, boy. All right. Hold on. Fucking cats are trying to kill me. Jesus Christ. Artemy last night must have bapped a used toilet paper roll off of the bathroom sink onto the ground, out into the hallway, and then, like, nudged it up against the fucking discarded hoodie that I have over there. So I stepped down expecting to feel cloth underneath, and fucking stepped on an almost, like, upright cardboard tube. Nearly fell. Jesus. All right.
And that's going to be an appropriate self-defense argument. So it's really shameful what we're seeing.
Hold on, I need to listen to the beginning of this woman speaking.
Why did this happen? right? And it kind of goes back
This'll
to
do.
a shooting of an unarmed black man, which, as we've seen, is something that our nation has really been divided over. Whether or not we need to put in the appropriate reforms, whether or not there's pushback, and I think that's what this really boils down to is what really is justice in America, right? Justice does not rise or fall on these individual cases. We were really excited to get guilty on all charges for the murder of George Floyd, but where is the George Floyd Justice and Policing Act right now? Where was it in the anniversary?
Huh? Yeah, let Artemy in.
When our congressional members were telling the family, oh, we're almost there, right? And so what this really boils down to, what you're seeing here is people fighting for justice, fighting to be heard, asking for change in the only way that we know how, and that's through effective protests. Now, what Kyle Rittenhouse trial has shown us is even if you engage in protesting, a person can come in and be an active shooter and can get away with murdering, otherwise innocent individuals. And that's going to be an appropriate self-defense argument. So it's really shameful what we're seeing with this verdict. And it makes us, I think all of us as a society, I hope it makes us pause to see how could this have been prevented. At the end of the day, 2 lives were lost and 1 man will never be able to use his arm again. So we really need to have a reckoning to figure out how could this have all been avoided.
Kristen, stick around for us. I want to play the moment that verdict was read and then check back in with Elson Barber.
I don't like the framing here. I don't like the framing. God, I have to thread such a needle with this. There's such a CNN and MSNBC are going really, really hard on this talking point. It's weird to me. Yeah, the issue that I have with her framing is that she's making it sound as though Rittenhouse broke up a model protest. That's the thing that bothers me, Like, again, I haven't talked about it that much because it struck me as not especially relevant to the things that I care about, but, like, the situation that Rittenhouse skedaddled on into was not... She made it sound like there was just a group of people, like, peacefully protesting, and then Rittenhouse, like, power slid in and started firing into the crowd, Again, like, I disagree with Rittenhouse's presence there. I think it was morally wrong for him to attend the protest in the way that he did, but the way in which you present that information can heavily weigh the narrative.
On the scene, let's go ahead and listen to that moment that we learned that the jury had acquitted Kyle Rittenhouse on all counts.
As to the first count of the information, Joseph Rosenbaum, we, the jury, find the defendant, Kyle H. Rittenhouse, not guilty. As to the second count of the information, Richard McGinnis, we, the jury, find the defendant, Kyle H. Rittenhouse, not guilty. As to the third count of the information, unknown male, we, the jury, find the defendant, Kyle H. Rittenhouse, not guilty. As to the fourth count of the information, Anthony Huber, we, the jury, find the defendant, Kyle H. Rittenhouse, not guilty. As to the fifth count of the information, Gage Grosskreutz.
They let Kamala be president for 4 minutes and she let Kyle get away.
We, the jury, find the defendant, Kyle H. Rittenhouse, not guilty.
Right, that moment was playing out on the lower right-hand corner of your screen. As we are watching on the left side, just a scroll.
Oh, shit. Is that a Mike from PA take? That... Fuck. I feel like this is true, but I want, like, legal counsel to make sure, because I really don't want to be implicated in you people acting irresponsibly on my... I don't think I'm legally implicating myself. I just, like, morally. Okay. Okay, can I like feel something out with you guys? Can I sort of like, can I play the mime and just sort of reach out with my hands and kind of feel out a wall? You know what I mean? How big is the box that I'm in? Can we just, I want to know. It seems like, okay, let's start with the hypothetical. Who was the guy who pointed the gun at Rittenhouse? Grosskreutz, right. Okay. If he had just shot Rittenhouse right then, would he have been exonerated? Like, if he had gone to court, how much would the, like, I was under the belief that he was an active shooter held water? Because your perception of reality is really, really important when it comes to self-defense cases. Especially since Rittenhouse wouldn't have been able to testify. I've heard from people like right-wingers talking about this, that when it comes to self-defense, the best way of securing your legal victory afterwards is to make sure you're the only one with a story to tell. That if you're the only one who lives at the end of it, or people on your side are the only one who lives, the other side never gets a chance to even make their case. It seems like the legal system is really biased in favor of the person to survive the self-defense. Like, it's really fucked. That's what I've heard. I don't know if it's true, but that's what I've heard. I wish I could talk. I want to talk to like a lawyer about. I only know 2 lawyers, Bastiat and RGR, but are there any like lefty? I wonder. No, they probably wouldn't. Oh, well, there's Mike from PA. Guys, I don't think Legal Eagle is a leftist. Though I am curious about this question. The reason I'm bringing this up is because I used to be more interested in law, like in a hobby sense, like as a hobbyist, and because it is interesting, and I would browse legal forums and stuff, and self-defense cases came up all the time, whenever, because they come up because they're contentious and they're very attention grabbing, and I feel like the advice that I got really frequently was like if somebody breaks into your home, you have a legal right to shoot them most of the time, but like you want them dead, because if they're dead, you're pretty safe. Like they have like no narrative to give. There's no side on their side. They have nothing, no witnesses, no testimony, nothing. All you have is your story, which is, I was in my house, they attacked me, I shot them. But if they live, like you shoot them in the gut, but they survive when the EMT arrives, they could be like, I wasn't, I heard this, I came in, but then put my hands up, I was surrendering, it was the wrong house, I was drunk, like, they can throw out 1,000 pieces of info that can, whether they're lying or not, even if they're being truthful, that can make the jury play more towards their side. It feels like being the only one left to tell the story really helps. Like, think about George Zimmerman and Trayvon Martin, right? Like, not having Trayvon Martin there was the reason Zimmerman got away. If Trayvon Martin had lived, if he had just been shot in like the side, but had survived and testified in those trials, no fucking way Zimmerman would have walked. No fucking way. His death was the thing that guaranteed the acquittal. It seems like it's just biased, like really, really heavily. Kyle left a victim alive and walked, though. Well, there was evidence whether or not, because people were taking like video footage. I just mean in terms of like the narrative that you can present. Yeah, but that seems like a really toxic incentive, like, because then you're encouraged to kill people. You're right. A lawyer friend of mine once told me if you shoot someone for breaking into your house, you'd better kill them because they can sue you into the Stone Age. If they're unarmed, you can get charged for aggravated assault. Yeah, it just I remember really, really distinctly. I remember really distinctly, like, I was really young when I read this, but it was a forum post about like what do you do, like, hypothetically, like, what do you do if a person breaks into your house and you shoot them, but it's a non-lethal shot? Like, you disable them, but they're not going to die as long as like the medics arrive. And like if you get them in there are places you can shoot a person to disable them without like killing them. And one of the most upvoted advice was shoot them again. The cops won't know whether the first bullet went through their head or their side. That was like the most That was like the top thing. You know? I guess maybe the cops could find out based on bullet trajectory, but I don't know if they'd do that investigation. No, they could tell if they did a full-on thing, but I don't know if the cops would like set up bullet trajectory analysis in your home to find out this, that, or the other and mark the blood. It just seems like a toxic incentive is all, you know? I wonder. Not legal advice though. None of this is legal advice. I'm just wondering. Would they even care? Well, if you've I'm pretty sure that if you do that, that's execution. That's murder. I'm pretty sure. If the person has been disabled by the shot and you shoot them again when it's very clear they can't do anything, that's straight up execution. Yeah. If even if you have a right to kill in self-defense, if they've been shot once and they're just on the ground, like if you shoot them again, that's not covered by the. Yeah, but no one will know. I don't know. It seems like the self-defense shit is really biased in favor of the guy who lives. I don't know. It seems like it's really fucked though. Like, how do you? Is it always just like just be the last guy? Like just be the last person? You know? So shoot like 10 times, you ever shoot once? Well, yeah. I mean, that's yeah. If a person attacks you, nobody fires once. You always fire a few times. It's you're meant to kill them. Nobody shoots to wound. Every shot is shoot to kill. There's no not shoot to kill. When people in movies say shoot to kill, there's an implication there's a shoot to not kill, and that's not a thing. Nobody even does warning. I guess some people might, like if you shoot into the air, if you're like a farmer with a shotgun, you shoot in the air to like let them kids know to stop fucking on your cornfield or whatever. I don't know. But like really though, it's always shoot to kill. It's always shoot to kill. In terms of like self-defense situations, yes, the military is, but I'm talking in like civilian engagements. Yes, the military, part of their like initiation of force protocol involves shooting warning shots. I'm pretty sure. I think. It's definitely far from that simple. If the entry wound is in the back, it'll get you jail in my state. Well, yeah, because that would imply that they weren't, like, attacking you. Sorry. Itchy nose. No half-intelligent lawyer could possibly comment about this on the street. Yeah, I feel like none of them would be stupid enough to come on here. Fucking. I am really curious, though, yeah. You know? Sorry. Yeah, I don't know. Just, a 30 caliber bullet has a terminal velocity. Yes, as we learned by doing math a couple streams ago, don't ever fire in the air. It turns out that bullets fall fast enough that they can just kill you on their way down. I thought I'm an idiot. I thought that terminal velocity for everything was the same. I forgot about like wind resistance being different for different things, but it turns out there's more wind resistance in a falling body than a bullet, which is made of metal and is aerodynamic. So turns out they fall a bit faster. Yeah. Surface area relative to weight. Wasn't there a Mythbusters about this? Well, things will fall faster depending on how they're shaped, right? Like parachutes fall very slow because they have a ton of surface area and very low weight. Yeah, gravity acts the same on everything. The acceleration is the same, but the air resistance differs based on the... Yeah. Terminal velocity is also depending on mass. Well, it's a ratio of mass to the surface area, like the air resistance that you have with the surface area. Right? Like the surface, not literally the surface area, but the amount of drag that you're encountering on the way down from your surface area perpendicular to the... Yeah, your drag downwards, yeah. Bullets have no mass and can't accelerate themselves over time fast enough to kill someone. No, they can. Listen, terminal velocity of a bullet. We learned this. A terminal velocity of a bullet. A bullet's terminal velocity required to penetrate the skin is between 45 and 60 meters per second, and bullets traveling more than 60 meters per second can penetrate the skull. And bullets can reach 300 feet per second while falling down. That's definitely enough. The acceleration of an object is not dependent on its mass. No, The acceleration from gravity is not dependent on its mass, but its practical acceleration is determined by the relationship between its mass and how much drag it's experiencing. Like, obviously, a parachute on Earth doesn't have the same acceleration downwards as a bullet because it's a parachute. It's designed to maximize the drag. Air resistance is a myth. Yeah. Yeah, no, the cranial gravitational falling bullet injuries. Keep in mind the falling bullets have the capacity of reaching up to 600. Wait, hold on. Terminal velocity. Oh yeah, people have been injured, but yeah. Don't fire up in the air. It's dangerous. 600 what? Feet per second. Hold on. A .30 caliber bullet has a terminal speed of 200 miles per hour. Jesus Christ. Okay, getting hit by a bullet at 200 miles per hour can absolutely kill you. That would crunk your skull good. My God. Whew. That'll crunk you. Yeah, there's a Wikipedia page on falling bullet injuries. If you look at the equation of free fall acceleration, it doesn't even have mass in it. In a vacuum or in an atmosphere. It doesn't matter? Yes it does? It matters a lot, actually. That's actually a very important factor. Okay, you guys realize that a parachute will fall faster if there's 10 people on it rather than 1, right? Even if the wind resistance is the same? Buoyancy is a thing. Chat, guys, the whole a feather and a hammer, that's changing wind resistance? No, it's not. What? What if that was the case? Then no, mass absolutely matters. Oh my God, Vosh has no basic. Oh my God, all right. When something is falling and it has a parachute on, its ability to move air out of the way of its downward travel is determined by the mass of the object, because the mass indicates the force with which gravity is accelerating your descent towards the ground. The force with which you're accelerating towards the ground is pushed against the wind resistance, and the more mass you have, the more you can push back against the air resistance. The more mass there is, the more air you can push out of the way while moving. A feather and hammer fall at the same rate on the moon. In a vacuum. They fall at the same rate in a vacuum. We're on Earth. Parachutes don't work on the moon. They only work when there's air. Literally moon logic. That means the acceleration is the same. The acceleration from gravity is the same, but the acceleration is limited by the drag you experience on the way down, which is determined by the relationship between the mass of the object and the wind resistance that they experience based on their surface area and the direction that they're traveling against the air. Yeah, you guys need to wear helmets. Exactly. You guys need to wear helmets, okay? Like day to day. Just like going to the grocery store. Wear a fucking helmet, okay? Take care of yourselves. Jesus fucking Christ. Oh my God. Oh my God. Okay. Oh my God. Move on.
Scrum of people there outside the courthouse. Ellison, if you can hear me, wondering what you're seeing and hearing there outside.
Hey, Lindsay. Yeah, so this man right here in the red jacket, this is Justin Blake, the uncle of Jacob Blake, the man who was shot 7 times by Kenosha police and paralyzed from the waist down. His shooting is what triggered the protests, the unrest that took place in August that then Kyle Rittenhouse traveled to from Antioch, Illinois, where everything that took place that night happened in August. Not far from here, actually, just down this road is where just a couple blocks there is where all of this really took place. You can hear and you can kind of see some of the crowds a little bit spreading out now, but if you look back over behind us, you can see some of the different signs that we've seen here. This group here is a group that supported Kyle Rittenhouse. They believe justice was served today. You see the one-man sign saying, "Free Kyle, the U.S. is still worth defending, not guilty." When that verdict came down, some people drove through this area honking their horns saying, "Free Kyle."
Do you know more mass means more inertia, meaning slower acceleration? That's good fucking bait right there. That actually took me a quarter of a second to figure out. That's good fucking bait right there. That's good. That's a good one.
The Second Amendment is still law, supporting the Second Amendment. Over here you have people who were hoping for a very different outcome today. And again, that is the uncle of Jacob Blake, who is speaking with the media right now. He has been out here throughout the trial, peacefully
what the fuck is this?
waiting to
Holy shit, what the fuck is going on over here?
hear this verdict. There are signs that these groups have different signs here. Actually, if I could see this sign here, you can see this man's sign. Rittenhouse is guilty. So are the cops who shot Jacob Blake.
Thanks for
This
telling us,
trial
'cause we
is
can't
a farce.
see.
We've seen a lot of people coming who feel that way, that they did not trust the judge in this, and some of the comments that he made throughout this trial that were televised live furthered that for them. And now, obviously, this verdict, not one that they consider to be just, but here this side says
Look at all
that
that
it
hair.
absolutely is. Again, Kyle Rittenhouse not guilty on all 5 counts, all 5 charges. Lindsay?
Ellison, wondering what you can tell us about the size of the crowd since we checked in with you moments.
I actually would have expected a larger crowd here. I gotta say I'm surprised. Given how much of a media shit show the Rittenhouse case has been, I'm surprised there's not a larger number of people out here. Apparently 500 members of the Wisconsin National Guard, or the Kenosha Guard or whatever, were brought out, so I doubt anything would have happened anyway, but yeah. I have no idea. Can you believe... Okay, wait, so one of the people that Rittenhouse killed was like a pedophile, right? Who was the other person? What, didn't they both have like rap sheets or something? What was the other person? One was a wife beater. So that was the other one? Wait, why was a pedo there? Oh, you guys didn't know about the 2 guys who were shot? The other one had a domestic abuse charge. Can you believe the luck from Rittenhouse? I'm not saying that it necessarily weighted the results from the jury or whatever, but like, holy shit. Imagine if you go to a protest and circumstances lead you to kill 2 people, and then it's like, oh, this person was a rapist, and this person was a, like, you know what I mean? And this person was a war criminal. They were in Iraq. They were at Al Ghraib or whatever. Yeah, whatever the fuck's called. Yeah, that would, almost like he planned it. Oh, shit! Do you think it was a plant? Do you think they were like, yeah, okay, this is going to be the greatest conservative psyop of all time. Get ready. And they have like dude, where's Alex Jones when you need him? It's like, all right, let's find the fucking worst people in Wisconsin, send them over. No, stop, people will believe.
Before the verdict was read, and now.
Some people actually seem to have started to kind of make their way home. This is a small group of protesters. It's never really been over 30 that have been out here really since the jury has been deliberating, and a lot of them are family members of the people who...
Did I see a Hunter's Take on Twitter? Kyle Rittenhouse not guilty. Wow, cringe. He's not a hero. Don't hinge your vigilante fantasies on a child. Cool. Anyone crying white privilege about the verdict is coping? Yep, I said that. If this emboldens militias, then a guilty verdict would have emboldened riots. No, I disagree with that. This is a miss. Kyle Rittenhouse's exoneration specifically and directly emboldens militias because he was engaging in the behavior that militias fantasize about engaging in, you know, getting attacked by rampant thugs and shooting them or whatever. But if by emboldening riots we mean like the margin of people who go to the protests just to like attack people and destroy shit, then I guess, yeah. I guess by saying emboldening riots, you're specifically limiting your consideration to like the rioters, of which there were plenty at Kenosha. But the language here is variable enough that it's like, well, by riots, do you mean like any BLM? Like, do you mean there's an equivocacy? Like, you know, I wouldn't use that necessarily. I would say that a guilty verdict might make some of the worst elements of the protests more fearless or confident in the future, but again, it's kind of a blurry line.
Who lost their lives. We've seen the girlfriend of Anthony Huber. She was here again today. We'd seen her on the steps a couple of days ago. Her boyfriend, he's the one who had the skateboard, the second person Kyle Rittenhouse shot and killed that night. She was in court today. She has left and already appeared to be heading home with Anthony Huber's aunt, great aunt relative who had testified during this trial. I mean, people are talking. You can hear the chatter of different kind of opposing mics all around me, but things are calm. Really, the most consistent noise you hear is just people driving by honking and then appearing to go about their day. As we've spoken to people leading up to closing arguments, the jury deliberating in this community.
Okay, I want to see fucking libs coping, okay?
They're really going to stay with us as we continue to debate whether there was something wrong with the law or, you know, that really is not ideal in the way that it applied in this case.
If we can't be smug over conservatives, we can at least be smug over liberals, okay? That's the beauty of being a leftist, okay? No matter who wins, there's always somebody we don't like losing.
And whether we should do something about that.
Talia, I want you to stick around here because I want to ask you a question after I read a statement here from the family of Anthony Huber, who was one of...
I want to see talking heads, not on the ground reporters. In my experience, on the ground reporters, the people who are on here tend to deliver fucking bogus takes way less often. Where's MSNBC? MSNBC. No. BC. Yep. Do we have a live stream? Do we not? MSNBC, do we not have a live stream? MSNBC? Wow. They were banned? Yeah, from the courtroom, but they could still have a live stream from, like, out of the courtroom. Well, here's NBC. I mean...
on her trying to express First Amendment rights in the future. And I'll tell you, we also heard from the uncle of Jacob Blake. He was the man who was shot by a Kenosha police officer 7 times in the back. That shooting was ruled justified by investigators here, but that was the protest that led to the shooting that Kyle Rittenhouse was involved in. And he expressed frustration with the verdict. He said the fight will continue. He again tied it into the larger social justice movement that you're seeing play out across.
Oh, God. I love the photos chosen for this dude. Holy shit. Matt Gaetz, child sex trafficker, says he might hire Kyle Rittenhouse, a congressional intern. Look at their faces, dude. Holy shit. That's Gaetz's rape face. Jesus Christ. I'm feeling sexually assaulted just looking at it right now. The fucking aura that he's emanating. Like, the fucking Rittenhouse, like, oh shit. It's like looking behind him, you know? Jesus Christ. What the fuck? They did this on purpose. They had to. This is so clearly it's a very deliberate juxtaposition, I think.
The country. I think one thing that you saw vividly on the steps of this courthouse was that divide. Again, people who said that this acquittal was the correct move, and you have those who are left very disappointed by what the jury decided.
Shaq, I have to ask, we're looking at you standing there today in daylight. It looks pretty calm. Obviously, we know problems tend to happen when the sun goes down, especially on a Friday night into a weekend. What is Kenosha doing to be prepared tonight throughout the weekend? Will the National Guard be sticking around, and are they doing anything else just to make sure that things stay calm as they are right now?
Why are liberals trying to tie this to black man who was shot, though? Because Jacob Blake's shooting was what led to the Kenosha riots, which is what led to Rittenhouse. It's all just kind of an infinite cavalcade. And now somebody's going to get mad about Rittenhouse and do like a shooting, and then we're going to have that court case. And eventually, 50 years from now, we'll be talking about presidential elections, and somebody will be like, so how did the first White House get bombed? And we'll have to go all the way back to Kenosha. Toss a coin to your streamer, oh viewers of plenty.
Right, yeah, they are still activated. They are stationed outside of Kenosha, only coming in if that request comes in from local law enforcement. But it's a great point that you make, because this was a highly anticipated verdict. I mean, the jury was locked away in negotiations, coming back every day for 4 days. That's a long time that they were deliberating. And in that time, you had schools in the area switching over to virtual learning out of fear or anticipation of what could happen. You had
fucking boring. I want talking heads. NBC?
And
hey!
how well the defense team
there we
prepared
go.
him. Your reaction to the verdict we got today?
I am not surprised, but
in that time you had
Okay,
schools
so they-
in the area.
okay.
What that he made.
Appreciate it.
There we go. Bring
All
it
right,
to
let's
me.
bring in David Henderson, civil rights
David
lawyer
Henderson,
and former prosecutor, and Danny Savalos, an NBC News legal analyst and criminal defense attorney. So, Danny, first to you. You told us earlier this week that you thought that we might see a verdict like this because of what you saw when Kyle Rittenhouse took the stand and
I'm so sorry. I don't normally watch mainstream news. Is this actually what NBC News' set looks like? This looks like shit. This looks like Fuentes' set. Is this actually what their set looks like? Is this do they literally just have like a painting behind a desk? Like, do they seriously not have like a screen or something? Okay. All right. Fine. No, whatever. Fine.
how well the defense team prepared him. Your reaction to the verdict we got today?
This is NBC
I am
News
not
now.
surprised,
Different.
but that is kind of a lie, because I'm always surprised by every single verdict. And no matter what, whether it's my own case or I'm observing a case like this, I always second guess what I originally thought, especially when the jury time deliberating drags on and on and on.
Is that just a lawyer thing?
No, I think it's an everybody thing,
Yeah,
but it's
for
definitely,
sure.
if it's a trial lawyer
He's
thing,
dead.
you always go through all the possibilities in your mind. And as the jury deliberates longer and longer, you heard defense counsel talk about it. It is agony. You can go back to the office, you can check your messages, you can send some emails. You're not really present.
You're not thinking
You're
about
not
anything
really
else.
there. Now, you asked about the prosecution. You know, it's easy to say, hey, the prosecution didn't do a good job. I don't believe that. That's my problem with the prosecution, is I think they did too good a job with
I hope he doesn't qualify this take and he just cuts it off right here. He's just like, yeah, that's their problem. They did too good of a job. And then just leaves.
With bad facts. And that's not me, defense attorney guy, saying that. I was just on with Paul Butler, former federal prosecutor. He said they were bad facts. We're hearing bad facts from all kinds of folks today. And so that's the problem. Prosecutors' duty is to do justice. If they had bad facts, what they should have done is reevaluate the case. Instead, they sought to win at all costs. And that's why they made arguments in closing that I think, maybe we'll find out, maybe we'll never know, that the jury rejected. For example, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, Joseph Rosenbaum, you see him here trying to fight everyone, pushing a dumpster? He was harmless. I have to believe that at least one or two of the members of the jury were like, harmless? I live in the suburbs out by, you know, at TGI Fridays. If I saw a guy like that, I would not think he was harmless. So I think
it is true. Some of the closing arguments made by the prosecutor, I'm not saying the defense had a bad closing argument as well, but some of the arguments made by the prosecution, the closing, really felt like throwing everything at the wall and seeing what sticks. Like throwing everything out there, you know?
Moments like that, or when the prosecution argued in the rebuttal.
Are there TGI Fridays in suburbs? There are only TGI Fridays in suburbs. Suburbs are just a mix of residential zoning and TGI Friday zoning, just sort of blocks of them.
that, hey, sometimes you're supposed to take a beating before you decide to use force. That has never been the rule of self-defense ever, anywhere, anyhow. So, in my opinion, the prosecution might have lost some credibility, but my point is they were so good at what they did.
Yeah, there was a point in the prosecution's closing statement where he was like, your right to self-defense using lethal force is something that you only get to exercise when there's an imminent threat of serious physical harm or death. And then in reference to the guy charging at Rittenhouse with a skateboard, that's not enough. Oh, a skateboard? That doesn't fulfill that requirement, immediate threat of serious physical harm or death. We're talking about immediate, not like, oh, someone might hit you. Like, he was downplaying the lethality of a skateboard, which, if you have ever held a skateboard, you could absolutely kill a person with a single swing of that thing. Like very easily. It's, yeah, like, yeah. That is, if someone's charging you with that, that is unquestionably a lethal weapon. You can kill someone with anything? Yeah, but like a skateboard, a baseball bat, yeah. Like, have you ever held a skateboard? Yeah. I mean, I've never ridden one, but I've held skateboards. They're pretty heavy. They're pretty, yeah. Skateboards are hella dangerous. In fact, I'm pretty sure, I'm pretty sure that, isn't it, I'm pretty sure I watched this from one of those pop, like, science channel weapon analysis shows or whatever, but isn't like, I'm pretty sure baseball bats are considered much more effective in regards to lethality than like knives are. Like, if you have a knife and the other person has a baseball bat, that's a losing bid. Significantly losing, because they have the better reach, and because you can, like, the leverage and inertia means you can thwonk a with a knife, like when you stab a person to death, you have to go like, but like with a baseball bat, you can just swing it and hit any part of their body and just annihilate them. Even if you don't hit them in the head, like if you hit them in the shoulder, like you just obliterate them from the side, you know? You guys know what I mean, right? Dumb argument? No, that was the argument. Couldn't you throw the knife? Yes, you can throw the knife if you want. Yeah, knives are directional. You stab forward. They're shorter in length. They can get caught on things, and they don't have any inertial assistance. Knives don't really weigh enough to add much weight. Like, they don't have any leverage. But a baseball bat, like, if you just swing it at a person, whatever you hit gets disintegrated, right? The bat gets one impactful swing. Yeah, but like, if you get an impactful swing with a baseball bat, isn't it over? Unless you're like really physically weak. Right? Guys, do you have any idea how fast baseball bats get at their tip? Like, you will dissolve bone. You will annihilate them. Like, it's like getting hit with a car, but like faster. It's, yeah. We've never played sports Vosh, of course we don't know. Ah, yes. If you miss the knife throw, you're fucked. No, has anyone ever used a throwing knife in self-defense? Like, what? This, only in Fortnite. Only in GoldenEye 64. Jesus Christ. Baseball bats hurt like fuck, but they're only really lethal when cracking a skull. Yeah, but if you hit anywhere that isn't the skull, I'm pretty sure you would still disable the person. Like, okay, I can't believe we're looking this up. Hold on. Baseball bat versus knife. Okay, the Google is saying that the knife is better. Never mind. Joseph Anderson. What the fuck is Joseph Anderson doing contributing to this? Oh, Joseph Anderson had a poll. My favorite video game reviewer. One is a 6-inch hunting knife. The other is a 34-inch wooden baseball bat. Who's more likely to win? And his poll, by nearly a 2-to-1 margin, says the bat fighter would win. Curious. Curious. This was so long ago. He spent days arguing about this in jazz. Yeah, you know, I do think the bat would win. I do think so. Yeah, reach is a big fucking deal, you know? Yeah, a bat is more effective than a skateboard. No, a skateboard will absolutely break bone, especially if you hit it like against the edge, you know? 100%. A great club is 1d8 damage and a dagger is only 1d4. All right, D&D settles it. If you miss your bat swing, you're dead, though. Just, like, back up and swing wildly. Fuck it. I don't know. Use it, like, poke them. Bats hurt, dude.
They took a case with bad facts and got a jury to deliberate for 3 days on those bad facts. So you can't say they did a bad job. This case was not a winner to begin with, and they took it right to the limit.
David, let me get your take on this not guilty verdict. Were you surprised by it?
I was not surprised by the not guilty verdict. And in that regard, I agree with Danny. I think it was easy to anticipate how this could likely turn out. I thought the best result might be a hung jury. Now, that's not because I agree with the result. It's just part of my job to be able to look at the case and tell you where the problems are. And in that regard, I've got a different take on the prosecution than Danny does. And it may be, I think the prosecution did a terrible job on this case.
Okay.
There's no way for me to avoid saying that.
I agree.
The reason I say it is because let's start with
What?
Okay.
There's no way for me to avoid saying that.
I agree.
The reason I say
Was that a joke?
it is because let's start with closing argument, which is where you should start preparing your case. When you're trying a case, you should first sit down and write out your closing argument. Then you go back and figure out how you prove everything that you want to argue ultimately. And if you look at what the prosecution argued in their close, it's completely inconsistent with how they charged Kyle Rittenhouse in this case. It also led to a very muddled presentation when they had to present the law to the jury. And I'll just summarize it by saying this. If you ask most people this basic question, and it's more complicated than this because we're lawyers, but you ask most people this basic question, the first shooting, the shooting of Rosenbaum, is Kyle Rittenhouse charged with murder or is he charged with manslaughter? Every time I ask that question to someone, they say, well, he's charged with murder. Because if you're watching the trial, that's the way the prosecution was arguing it. But he's not charged with murdering Rosenbaum. He's essentially charged with manslaughter against Rosenbaum, which makes no sense. And you have to ask yourself the question, why would they have brought that charge at all? And I don't think there's a way of avoiding saying that they didn't have a clear understanding of the facts before they led to the charging indictment. And they never took a step back when they were
Fuck, this dude's actually killing them. Holy shit.
getting this case ready for trial to ask if the way they were organizing their presentation would make sense to the jury. And ultimately, it did not.
It's true. Again, I only really watch the closing arguments because I'm a terrible political commentator. But the way the prosecution was talking, it did legitimately sound like they were pushing for like murder one. I mean, like the way they were talking about it, it really did sound like they were trying to like put him up for like full on, like basically premeditated murder. Their language was very, very severe. I wonder if they bought a little bit into like the moralization. You know what I mean? Like the media hype.
David, I want to ask you a follow-up question. It's something Danny...
Like with Zimmerman, like they overcharged Zimmerman, didn't they? They should have gone like 1 or 2 lower. I fucking forget. It was like years ago. I feel, yeah, I think they overcharged Zimmerman as well. They bought into like all the hate and they went for a higher charge than they should have. But they actually went for the higher charge, whereas the prosecution here just like used language that seems like it would have corresponded to a higher charge.
He touched on it. I'm going to throw it back to Danny after I talk to you, but let's talk about the deliberations here. They went on for 4 days. What does it tell you about the kinds of conversations that the jurors were having? How do you read into the length of time they spent considering this case?
Now, you can't just look at the length of time. And let me tell you this, when you're trying to interpret, Allison, what a jury did and why it did it, it's like reading tea leaves.
Yeah,
it's very, very difficult. Right. But don't just look at how long they took. Look at what they did during that time period. They never went to the judge and said, we need instruction on the law, or we think we're hopelessly deadlocked. They started off asking for copies of the jury instructions. They asked for the first 6 pages for everyone because they thought those were the pages that discussed the law of self-defense. I think they went back and asked for the complete version because the self-defense law is covered in 4 different parts of the charge. And then when they were sitting down asking to look at the videos, what that tells you is they're taking that self-defense analysis and trying to apply it to what they see in those videos. And part of what the prosecution has to do in any trial is explain to the jury exactly how you're supposed to do that. That didn't happen here at all in this trial. And so without that type of guidance, there was no way for them to be able to work through these instructions.
Danny, your take on how the jury deliberated, were you surprised that they didn't ask more questions? What were your reaction as we went from day 1 to 2 to 3 to 4?
Yes and no, I was surprised. I did expect more questions simply because the 30 or 40 pages of jury instructions I thought were very complicated, and they were worded in a complex way dealing with complex issues. Provocation merged with self-defense, merged with the elements of the crime. Those are very hard to handle for even lawyers, let alone lay folks on the
Fuck, I wish the fucking other guy, the black guy was here and this guy was on the satellite call. That the other guy, I feel like he's pretty well reasoned. I don't know. I feel like his shit, I want to hear his I want him in the studio, you know? I want him getting the NBC fluffer action before and after.
The jury who are struggling with these concepts. But as deliberations went on, given how few questions were coming out of the jury, I believe, and we may never know, that we were dealing with 1 or 2 holdouts. And I think ordinarily those holdouts are people are holding out for acquittal and everyone else is saying guilty. After all, the statistics are, what, 90+% of federal cases at least end in guilty verdicts.
They're just showing it on
the
loop.
odds are it's usually holdouts for acquittal. I think here you might have had the opposite, the reverse. You might have had holdouts for a conviction of guilty. 1, maybe 2 who thought, I just don't think he should have been out there on the streets with that rifle, and maybe everybody else in the room, oh, come on, Edna. You know, this is, you know, we've been over it a million times. And again, we may never know.
What the fuck?
You know, in a way, someone like me and David are the worst people to ask about what goes on in a jury room because, in all likelihood, we have never been in a jury room. Even when we get picked for jury duty, we're the first people to get kicked. Believe me. So,
news anchors are the second.
News anchors are the second. So, so without any knowledge of what goes on in there, and it's all astrology, it's all guesswork, unless and until one of them writes a tell-all.
So,
okay, wait, really quickly. I'm sorry. I just want to say I'm super proud of you guys. Okay. I'm super, super proud of you guys. The video that got released this morning, I was worried that it wouldn't do that well. Because the one with John Doyle, I was worried it wouldn't do that well. Because I didn't know what to title it. But it's doing good, and I love you guys. I'm proud of you. We need more Doyle content. He is good, isn't he? This is a really good thumbnail, though. Thank you, Ryan. I assume that was Ryan? Yeah. Definitely works. I am Vishy. Are you proud of me because I'm a yellow name? Yes. John Doyle's Physically Painful Cringe, and I even watched it. Yeah. Do a Doyle video? No, we can't oversaturate. I'll try to do Doyle more often, though. He's funny. I hope we can talk to him sometime. Isn't he kissing his sister in the intro vid? It's like on the cheek, right? I don't think there's anything wrong with kissing your family on the cheek. Don't Europeans do that? I forget. If it's on the mouth, maybe that's more weird. Are you debating Michael Knowles? I'll give you info when I have info. Do door today? Come on. Fuck! Man, I didn't think the verdict would be delivered today. I didn't mean to stream that long today. There was some other shit that I had to do. I have appointments pertaining to car maintenance that I've been putting off for a long time, and I set them up thinking I'd only do a quick stream, but then the fucking Rittenhouse verdict just jumped on me while I was in the shower. Fuck! What do I have tomorrow? Hold on. Let me check my email. Hold on. Today's Friday, right? Did I have anything booked for tomorrow? Why do I have this strong feeling that I have something booked for Saturday? I don't see anything for Saturday. What if I look for the 20th? Here we go. Here's the thing. Fuck, how didn't I have this written down? Shit. Okay, hold on. That's 5 p.m. Pacific time. Okay, here we go. Fine, I didn't miss it. 5 p.m. podcast invitation. Well, let me mark this down on my calendar. 1 second. I don't want to forget. Tell us. I think it's just like a small. You will see when we get there. Wait, where's my fucking calendar? Holy shit. Oh, to those of you who give a fuck, you'll be proud to hear that even though I am nowhere near acquiring the runes for Infinity, I got a 4-socket Ethereal Thresher the other day. I just found an Ethereal Thresher, and I just lucked it on the 1 out of 6 on the 4 slot. Hey, come on, you guys. Yeah. The people who know. The people who know. Yeah. It's Diablo 2. Explain. There's an item I needed, and it's not a super common item called a Thresher, but I can get a Thresher that's basically like double damage if it's ethereal. So I'm looking for an Ethereal Thresher, which is incredibly uncommon. And then after like dozens of hours of playing, I finally found one, but then you have to add sockets to it. And I need exactly 4 sockets, of which you can have up to 6 on any given item, meaning that there's a 1 in 6 chance of getting the correct number of sockets when you do the roll, and I got the correct roll. The odds were not in my favor, but okay, let me add this. 5 p.m. PT. Okay, guys, how about this? I feel bad about doing this. I didn't mean to stream for that long. How about tomorrow? Fuck, what am I doing on Sunday? Sunday is not D&D? Okay, here's what we're going to do, okay? Tomorrow, I'll stream at 5, and on Sunday, I will stream, even though I normally don't on Sundays. There we go. I can't put off the car maintenance any longer. I don't want to delay the appointment. I've been putting it off for a while. So I'll go do that as well. Do a cooking stream? Probably not. Maybe I'll even stream later today, but don't bet on it. Let me read donos. I will not cuck you. I love you guys. Chibi Dots and Snow Fenson, thanks to the tier 1 sub. People who say Rittenhouse is fake crying sound sociopathic. It's definitely not the best. I mean, you can make like little jokes, but I mean, if you're getting like ass mad about it. Cole Cynic, Roz, and Rick, thank you for the $5 all. Really appreciate that. The guy who snatched that gun in Seattle is a right-wing grifter, has a YouTube channel, and has been on Grand Thumb's channel, has some yikesy takes. Oh, he could be a total piece of shit, but he still did the right thing there for sure. Sad Boy Socialist, AD5DD Derek, thank you for the very kind $5. Really appreciate that. I want to look into it, Sad Boy Socialist. I've gotten my Antifa super soldier organs implanted, and as a result, I'm 10 feet tall and impervious to normal weapons. Does your advice apply to me? No, you can do whatever the fuck you want. I'm too spooky 5U, thanks to tier 2 sub. Acoustic Kami and Nightly Drugs, thank you for the tier 3 subs both. I really appreciate that. Seriously. Ryle Kittenhouse is standing outside my house with a trench gun. Well. Good luck. Oh, shit. That reminds me. Kakihara with a very kind $5. Happy Men's Day to all trans kings. True, and all cis people. The most overlooked demographic. Fuck, I wanted to do a Happy International Men's Day thing. I'll do it. I'll do it tomorrow, I think. It has to be sincere. I don't want to rush it out. It has to be sincere. Sully and Laura Mech, thank you for the tier 1 subs. James Mitchell, thanks for the $10. Skateboards are indeed quite heavy. Full Metal Socialist and Bernie Bot, thank you for the incredibly kind $20 both. I really, really, really appreciate that. Thoughts on Kamala's poll numbers and her chance in 2024? We're fucked in 2024 unless something changes. But there's so much more to do, so much more time, you know? Unhappy Dippy, I'm surprised none of you made the comparison between Kyle and Michael Reinhold, executed with Trump celebrating. Imagine the reverse. Yeah, the Michael Reinhold stuff is still really fucking sussy, where there were, like, people there who claimed that he never even, like, drew a gun, or he just got, like, executed openly or whatever. Yeah, I don't know. Fuck. Wilson Elder and Rick, thank you for the $5. Both? Gotcha, Rick. I think carbines look nice. The main issue that I have with, like... The main issue that I have with AR-15s is that they're ugly as sin. Can we all agree that they're ugly as sin? They're super fucking ugly. Are there any, like, less ugly? Okay, fine. I'm going full-on fucking bougie, like, I want a trophy mode. Are there any rifles that look good with, like, a wooden stock? Like a modern semi-automatic rifle that has, like, that it's fucking... Not an AK-47. I'm not LARPing that hard. Fouls for sure. Are they reliable? The FN foul is reliable. I just like wood with guns. I know that it makes them worse and more expensive. I just like them. Certainly for rifles. I mean, it doesn't really matter that much with a pistol, I think, but a rifle goes through a lot more stress, I think. Nate McBrady, thanks the very kind $20. Was Rittenhouse a vigilante, yes or no? I think he was looking to be a vigilante. I mean, he ended up being one. He became one through his behavior, right? Like, that was kind of what he was trying to do. I don't know if you mean it in, like, a legal sense, but, like, he was definitely sort of leaning in that direction. Artie Cashew and Shot with the Crows, thank you for the very kind $10. Amazing how well you keep your focus on the big picture, unlike a lot of doomers here. Best lefty I know. Oh, you're so counter-revolutionary, bro. The fascists are openly discussing killing us pretty soon. They won't be asking each other how down they are, lol. Dude, LARP hard. Bro, fucking sure. Go. Ruin public protest by showing up there open carrying with guns you don't know how to use and get shot. Justify police lines closing in on your public movement. Sure, have fun. Hey, if you care so much, form a fucking militia. Right-wingers do it all the time. It's not illegal. Go make a fucking militia. Go. Find a group of fucking commies, go live out in a compound in the woods, train with firearms every day, fund your shit because one of you is a trust fund kid. Go make a militia. Go, do it. Go, 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 do it. Go. Don't waste our time and make our movements less safe by LARPing around like fucking normies who we're trying to keep on our side, okay? Laundrout, thanks the $2. Kyle may be wearing a bulletproof vest under the suit. That's true. He might, yeah. It's possible. Dave does his spin move, thanks to the tier 1 sub. Did someone say give Vosh money? I said give Vosh money. Finish Theologian. I see dead llamas and unholy spike. Thank you for the $5 all. Thank you very much. Don't open, carry a gun, conceal armor. Modern armor is light and comfortable. Stay wrapped or get clapped. Yeah, I've been wondering about getting like armor myself lately, especially now that I've lost weight. Warhammer 40k does not take place in the same universe as Warhammer Fantasy canonically. I think they borrow from similar elements and they have the same chaos gods, but it's different like canon takes, I'm pretty sure. I think it goes, but they go back and forth. I think there's like variable, I don't know. Happy International Men's Day. Saltwater Bish, thanks the $10. In vacuum, mass does not matter. Yes. On Earth, there is drag caused by the atmosphere. Mass helps overcome drag, but many objects experience the same drag force. Yes, yes, yes. Mass increases the inertia of an object accelerating towards the ground, which makes it easier to push air out of the way. Chillmeister, thanks the $5. With DeSantis blocking vaccine mandates, how should I, who is at odds with their state politics, maintain and max their hopium capacity? Glory holes and bathhouses, I think. Just keep everyone's spirits up. I'm sorry, I have no fucking idea. Andrew Ponrico, thank you for the 200 rubles. Really appreciate that. Tedley, thank you for the $5. Yeah, maybe. Bags and Cats, thanks the very kind tier 2 sub. Thank you for your content. It helps me not feel like blasting my head off when I'm around my conservative family. Happy to keep you placated. Don Mako Umaneko, thanks the tier 1 sub. Samantha Sledge, the $5. Broke up with my GF of 5 years. Need some words of comfort. I'm really sorry to hear that. Things are going to be okay. It hurts a lot right now, but stuff does move on and feelings do change. We've all been through it and we've all gotten over it. Well, most of us have. Still alive, thanks to $2. Yes, we have to take a look at the John Deere strike settlement. Was going to do that today as well, but I didn't think the verdict would be... Shawner Game, thank you for the very kind $15. I live in Portland, and we get enough fat rednecks with AR-15s from Washington and downtown. Yeah, I do not doubt it. I do not doubt it at all. I just think guns should be shiny. And if they can't be shiny, why even have them? What do you guys think about the guns that look like this? You know what I mean? I always feel... Are these guns British? What do you feel about, like, these? There's, like, a style where, like, the stock is much longer. The bullpup. You think they look like a toy? I think they look kind of cool. But they don't have any wood, which is unacceptable. Yeah, if you look like wood rifle, a lot of these are just like old rifle or like custom jobs. Like this? I don't know. It's like, to me, this doesn't look like... It's just like the same plastic print shit, but then it's like, oh, let's like replace these parts with wood. I don't know. It doesn't look right to me. It doesn't, yeah. I don't know. No, Vermin, we're about to end. About this? I guess this just looks old. Wooden bullpup? Oh, shit. Wait, hold on. Wait, chat? Hear me out. This looks fucking sick, though. Okay, come on. With the fucking custom wooden grip, perfectly shaped for your hand? Come on. Come on. That looks cool. This probably costs like $8,000. Yeah. 8,000 might actually be an understatement. Here's an actual M16A1 made of wood. I just don't like how military guns look. I don't know. But... I don't know. They're just... It's just not shiny enough. And they're always black. Why not like a silver with rosewood? It's almost as if guns are not sculptures or paintings. Yeah, I appreciate beauty in my life. Thank you. What about a bullpupped AK? Here we go. There we go. The future of modern tactical tacticking. There we go. Absolutely. Literally the same thing. Okay, and the secret to how you fire it, okay, is you hold it right here against your gut. Like right here. So the stock is right here against your sternum. Like right like this. You just kind of like that. I usually like you, Fosh, but these are indefensible. What about a WA-2000? These look like 40K guns. Why are they so blocky? Is this a fucking bolt gun? Jesus Christ. Exactly, Vermin. Okay, let me finish donos. Fuck you guys. Stop. 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 What about this Mini 14? What is this? That's fine, but that's not really a modern... I'm talking about like semi-automatic rifles that have like 30-round magazines. What about a bullpup M1 Garand? What the fuck is this gun with elephantitis? Jesus Christ. Who's meant to hold this thing? Fucking Andre the Giant? Jesus Christ. It looks like a fucking turd. Okay. Stop. We have to read. What's up? Yeah? 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 What the fuck is this?
Little guns.
We have little...
You can open it.
Wait. Well, we have to get the camera to focus first. Camera. There we go. Look, little guns.
You can take one out, I think.
I'd lose it. See? Little guns. Sorry, yeah, I don't want to brandish and get in trouble.
I will.
What caliber is that? 0. Oh, there we go. There we go. It's never gonna focus. Alright, let me fucking read these. Jesus. Jel G, please come with the $6. Thank you very, very much. Really appreciate that. 12 Angry Men remake, but it's about Rittenhouse case with one guy changing opinion of the other 11 libcucks. Yeah, true. David Henley and Blindish, thank you for the $5 both. Really appreciate that. You addressed the allegations you had CP in your life. What allegations? What? A forum post, you mean? Where is that coming from? Nightly drugs, the gifted tier 2 sub, abolish white names. True. Address them. Yeah, address the allegations of the murder from 2017. No, I will not address the allegations of the murder from 2017. Thank you. XKCD Hat Guy, thanks the $5. I can't promise any conversation, but I'll take a look at your email. Kalik Tessie, thanks the very kind $10. Really appreciate that. Vax promotion number 3, because you can't keep owning the libs if COVID kills you. Yeah, true. Get the vaccine to continue voting for Trump forever. December and Johnny Carrots, thank you for the $5 both. Really appreciate that. Just got kicked out of the house because parents heard me listening to your Rittenhouse stream and we got in a fight. Now I'm sleeping in my car tonight. Lol, fuck white nationalists. I see, December. I hope you're doing okay. I hope those $5 that you just gave me aren't something that you'll need for traversing the wilderness sometime soon. My goodness. I hope you're doing okay. Sake Tanuki with a very kind $10. Sake donates something accurate, funny, true, and contextual. Vosh reads Dono 4 hours later. True. Sake Tanuki can't remember the donation. True. Well, this time I read it out loud, so. Sake with the 4 tier 1 subs gifted. Thank you. Do you not think the acquittal of Rittenhouse instead of the firing squad for not being subbed will embolden vigilantes to protect stuff and not sub to the Vosh pit? Yeah, what we really need right now is a case where somebody exercised lethal force in self-defense of their right to sub to me on the Vosh pit. And then they get a protracted trial, after which, after 18 months of deliberation, they're exonerated of all charges. I want people emboldened to donate to me. You know, I want the militias to feel comfortable. Still alive, thank you for the very kind $20. Vosh, in one of your previous conversations, you and the other people said we're winning the culture war. Can you explain how? Like, yeah, we won with gay marriage and gaining ground with trans issues, but other than that? Well, those are 2 pretty big ones. People are feeling more economically populist with time, which is generally good. But the sex and gender stuff is a huge talking point, like massive, you know? Integration of women into the workforce, the belief that, like, we're moving farther and farther and farther away from, like, the general sort of strong division between men and women, like, socially. BLM isn't that popular right now, but there is a general popular understanding of systemic racism and white supremacy, especially with policing. Stuff like that. Like, we're pretty continuously, like, generating W's, you know? Young Alex, thanks the tier 4 sub. Thank you. I'm really terrified of all the alt-righters who are going to feel empowered by this. Well, it's dangerous times out there. Understandable. Alan Knoll, thanks the $2. I will, thank you. Alex Mex90 with the tier 1 sub. Tomorrow's the anniversary of the Mexican Revolution, which had based outcomes like a constitutional right to health, but still suffered of Mexican infighting. I can take a look at it. Wolf Shadowhill with the $5. Foul isn't very reliable in my personal experience. As LARPy as it is, the AK-74 is a great rifle. Yeah, but I'm a lefty. I can't own a fucking AK. That's so cringe. I can't do... It's like, oh, you have a rifle? Yep, It's an AK-74. Like, yeah, okay. Like, yeah, I couldn't possibly. Okay, how about, okay, this gun? Okay, how about this one, okay? What if we got the Chode AK-74? It's like a little baby. That's an AK-47U. It literally says AKS-74U right here. There are people in chat trying to correct me as though there isn't an AK-74. They're like, dude, it's AK-47. There have been no updates to that model in the past 70 years. There's no way there's a 74. Brian Cameras, thank you for the very kind $10. Really appreciate that. Teleports behind you. Don't do anything bad while you're back there. Ohawk O, thanks to 12 bucks. Check Ahoy's video on the FAL. It's a sexy rifle. Sucks they're prohibited in Canada. There used to be tons here from the army. Canuck more like cucked, am I right? True. Not even a fucking American. Now we have the degenerate linkers to take a look at. We're going to move through them quickly. Okay, hold on. Here's an AR with wood furniture. Okay, it looks nice. This type of rifle just doesn't appeal to me. It just makes me feel like I'm LARPing as a Vietnam vet, you know? I won't deny the wood's really pretty, though. I think the wood definitely makes it look nicer. This gun is nicer. Wait, is this the same gun? Am I just looking at it from a different side? Okay, the other side's just less busy. Okay, yeah, never mind. I think I just like the less busy. I don't like all the fucking clicky bits. All the fucking bit shit, you know? I just want a steel cube. Your boy Shamoy, thanks the very kind $5. When are you buying this? Oh shit, this slaps. Fucking Fooly Cooly Conti figurine. That looks sick as hell. Sake with the 2 gifted tier 1 subs. Best gun IMO. Ah, yes, the compound bow. Ah, it doesn't let me fucking full screen it. Let them fear. Quake in fear. Did I just close my window? What? What did I just do? What? I did. Why am I so dumb? So dumb. Matthew H. the 5, Dennis Prager wants forgiveness.
Dear liberals, please come to my birthday party. My mom made pizza rolls, and I have Call of Duty on my PlayStation.
You guys
Dear
want to
liberals,
go to his party?
Please come to my birthday party. My mom made pizza rolls, and I have Call of Duty on my PlayStation.
I would go. He has Call of Duty on his PlayStation. Garrett Howell, thanks the $5. I appreciate you randomly wanting to give me money. I'll try my best. Matthew H. the 5, this has to be the dumbest tweet from somebody not called Glenn Greenwald. If you think Glenn Greenwald is a right-winger or Joe Rogan is a fascist because you've disappeared as far beyond your own ideological anus as somebody who thinks Biden is a Marxist, you can disagree with someone without making them the extreme opposite of everything that you value. Okay, I don't think Joe Rogan is a fash. Glenn Greenwald is absolutely a right-winger, though. He's done nothing for years now but promote right-wing agendas and attack the left constantly. He said that Tucker Carlson was like the only real socialist. Inga Blue, thank you for the 250. Really appreciate that. Oh, this is so cute. Look, it's an Animal Crossing shirt. It's politics is dumb, but important. Look, they made it in Animal Crossing, and it actually reads. That's super cute. I love it. Bad to the bow, thanks to the very kind $10. Ah, yes, for those who are here for last night's stream. The good shit. Get a Tommy gun. Does anyone else think it sucks that drum barrels aren't that good? They jam pretty often, right? Because it's such a iconic look. It's such an iconic look. It's so classic. Also, you can fit a lot of bullets in there. Absent TV, thanks to Tier 1 sub. Finally got a stable job that used my degree. Now I don't have to choose between hormones and a Vosh sub. Just kidding. Don't do that to me. Unfortunately, the Imager link you gave me does not work, but the message is still much appreciated. Anon411, thanks to $5. I will take a look at that video on my own time. Palm Tree Nirvana 007, thanks to the very kind $10. I should know more about China. At school, it was all about Hong Kong, but not the Opium Wars. Yeah, we didn't learn that much. Considering China's a superpower, you'd think we would. Look at the songs someone made of you. Ooh, I've got to go. Any other relevant links, I'm afraid we're going to have to save for the next stream. So please do keep them in mind. Mushrooms. Big.
This one's nice.
I'm not touching that. You're wearing gloves.
Because of the dirt.
Because of the dirt.
Yeah.
Just.
It's clean.
Gonna kill me. What? Shroomy. How about a classic bolt action? Bolt action rifles are gorgeous, but they're not really like practical anymore, right? Sake Tanuki to $10. Doesn't the Riddler look like Jimmy Dore? Honestly, a little bit, yeah. Is this from the Arkham Asylum games? Honestly, not that far off. And Falafel with a Tier 1 sub. Extremely relevant hood TikTok. Keck W. I don't know if this is relevant to the stream anymore, but I'll watch it on my own time. I love you. I'm sorry. I betray my donators. Oh, that's from the Telltale one? Gotcha. All right, listen up, guys. I love you very much. At 5 p.m. PT tomorrow, I've got a podcast thingamajig. I would love to do what every other political streamer is doing right now, which is to endlessly talk about Rittenhouse and just sit here and inspire doomer shit in all of you, but I'm not interested in that for several reasons, one of which being I have stuff to do, and the other of which being that there's really no reason. Kyle Rittenhouse's acquittal contributes to cultural factors that have been accelerating for a long time now. It's not really about his innocence or guilt. It's more about the effect it'll have in broader culture. So keep these in mind. Don't get too mad. Don't cope. Don't freak out and doomer. Don't be fucking weird about it, okay? Go and spread positivity. And by positivity, I mean good organizing tips. Remember? Keep your protests nonviolent, well-organized, cohesive, focused, and deliberate. Don't split up. Don't go into little groups. Don't initiate violence. Don't attack people. Don't encourage any of that behavior. Just focus on promoting behaviors that minimize hurt to you and maximize copium to the opposition, okay? Let me see who we're rating on Twitch today. I'm fine with people being upset, Vermin, but when I say doomer, like to me, doomer isn't like being sad or upset. Doomer is like being like depressive to the point that it hurts your your political assessments. Let's read Lumiru. I feel like Lumiru is probably going to be the best one for the International Men's Day content. As before, chat, you know the goal, okay? Lumiru, more like Lumi Poo. But after you do that, oh wait, this channel has follower or subscriber only chat. Wait, can I not raid them if it's follower or subscriber only? I'm only sending you over as viewers. I can't raid? I've raided them before. Did they change something? Raid Lumiru. You already have a raid in progress. Wait, it's not showing for me. Is there a raid? Something bugged out with Twitch? Yeah, clearly. It's not showing the interface to me. Let me see. Does it show up on the channel's chat end, or is it just not showing up in the video producer end? No, I don't see it anywhere. So wait, does that mean it's not raiding at all? Maybe I'll just host. Can I just host? It says the raid has been canceled. I'll try one more time. If not, I'll just host. Raid Lumi Rue. I have a raid in progress. Okay, fine. Host. Fine. Host. Good luck. Okay. The host worked. All right. I love you guys. I'll see you tomorrow. Take care of yourselves, okay?